Mulder, the truth is out there. But so are lies.
Absolutely, Scully. There's a lot of lies out there, so we need to be careful with what information we're consuming. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday to you. It's another, well, to be honest with you, it's actually a Maria Orsic episode. Go figure. What do you expect? It's me. So, yes, let's do it. Let's run the intro. And a happy Friday to you all. What's the intro? Intro! Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Alien Addict. This is the show where we discuss all things UFOs and aliens to the paranormal and our pursuit into the mysteries of the unexplained. Welcome on in and happy Friday to you. So my missus came in the other day. She was going, I need to speak to you about something. And it was like one of those situations, you know, when you had like an argument or something's brewing, you know something's not quite right. She goes, Nick, right, I've noticed this, like these women on your computer. I was like, babe, what are you talking about? It's like, who the hell's Maria Orsic? I'm like, oh, babe, let's sit down. She has no idea in terms of research what I'm doing. But again, we're back at it once more time. Well, it's not going to be the last time we're going to talk about the woman herself, Maria Orsic. Yes, we're going to go for another deep dive today, a bit more old school research, trying to find the origin. Well, we know the origins of Maria Orsic if you've been paying attention to Alien Addict. But today, I think it's quite interesting to really reevaluate the photographs and other stuff we're going to be talking about as well. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So let's just go through chat and see who is in there. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Yeah, well, where are you two? You said something. She is real and she's mine, chat. Ooh, we'll get in there. I do too well, mate. Yeah, well, we get to it. John Strokes, thanks for the shout out, brother. Much appreciated as always. And she pop up, nice to see you. Stephen Garner, nice to see you, brother. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. And oh, Nathan, you made it this time, brother. Yeah, these women on you. I had you going there, didn't I? Yeah. Well, I'll get to the photographs in a minute, all right? But she saw it earlier. She was like, "We need to talk. Like, there's something going on here." I was like, "It's nothing rude, nothing naughty, you know." And I write one, you Saxon. Yeah, we all have a bit of Maria, you know. I've got some very funny videos to show. One's quite interesting. And that right, Sadie? Nice to see you. Happy Friday to you too. And Spirited Kenny, nice to see you. And Carlos the Skywatcher. How's it going? Paul Robertson, nice to see you, man. Science Evidence Fringe, much appreciated. And One True Saxon. Did I say hello to you? I don't know. I'm still sobering up. And Shreddy Mac. Nice to see you, brother. Alien Addict, how's it going? John P. Adventures, how's it going, brother? Oh, John, if you're still there, mate. I saw that car crash you captured live. I bloody heard it as well. It's got a significant sound, isn't it, when two cars crashes together. So it was right place, right time there, brother. You know what I mean? So yeah, well, at least you're in good hands, man. Hey, how's it going, Mark Jeffrey? How's it going, brother? Nice to see you. All right, bloody hell, capital letters. There we go. I'm just joking. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Maria Orsic. And what else have I got? Yeah, well, let's bring out the fun now. I've done so much research on Maria the past couple of days. So yeah, oh my God, how am I going to pronounce that? Azerbaijan UFO. Yeah, I know, it looks fake. Don't worry, get to it. Maria Orsic and UFO Mag, and amongst other stuff as well. So yeah, we'll just see how things go today, guys. So it's going to be one of those episodes where it's a bit of a deep dive into Maria Ortish, as one would say. People call her Maria Orsic, but the real pronunciation, I actually got 3 pronunciations for it, but it's Maria Ortish. All right. So, but yeah, hey, Rebecca, nice to see you. How's it going? Made it just in time. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you, Rebecca. And Corbell's Cat. And John Scott, nice to see you. Happy Friday to you all. So yes, right. What I'm going to do first today. Well, remember last Friday, right? God, I tell you, my cat has just been outside. He's been in the mud. You know that mud smell? Just can't get rid of it. He's at least off my lap now. That's a bloody good thing. So right, remember I talked about breakfast, right? I was saying I was going to this new place. Well, check this out, right? I did ask my missus to send me a photograph. So send me a photograph now. So this is my missus. But this was mine. I said, give me the biggest breakfast, the fattest breakfast imaginable, right? And basically it was this. It was called the mega breakfast or something like that. So I had 4 pieces of toast, 4 eggs, 4 sausages, 4 bacons, beans, tomato, black pudding, and those potato wedgies, something like that. I was ill. I was so ill. The only thing I didn't eat is the black pudding. I couldn't, mate. I looked at it. I was like, should I try it? And I didn't. Yeah, Jesus, that's right, Paul Robinson. It was a fucking massive meal, mate. The only thing I didn't eat was the black pudding and the potatoes. And my God, I mean, I came out of there like, I don't feel good. I stuffed my face. I was so hungry because me and the missus, we do exercise on Saturdays. Was it mashup or something like Tabata or something like that? No, white pudding. These are black pudding. This one is bloody awful. I don't know. It's pig's blood. And yeah. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Mate, it felt like it. I was in the van on the way home. I was like, babe, I do not feel good. It took me at least a couple of days to digest everything. But it doesn't look that big, but that plate came forward and everyone was looking at me when I was eating it. I was like, don't look at me, want to eat. Yeah, it's full of iron, apparently. But yeah, it was an amazing breakfast. Look at these sugars my missus have. Terrible, babe. You shouldn't have that much sugars. It's awful. But yeah, that was that. So yeah, enough of that. God, it makes me feel sick just looking at it, honestly. So I've got books. Yay, I just spent 100 quid on a book. Yeah, because I don't want to talk about me too much, but as you know, I stopped smoking, obviously saving a lot of money. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself for once. This was on eBay. It had 7 watches on it, 7 watches. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to buy it. And yeah, I bought it today. So this is the abduction case of Mariasul. I'm going to screw the word up, you know, I'm like, but yeah, that is coming soon. So Rendell Stevens, I know, a bit of a controversial figure, I know, but I'm collecting his books, which are extremely expensive. And I thought just add that one tick off the collection. So that should be coming soon. But I got this come through the post. Put the pen down for a minute. Remember on Wednesday, me and Hidden Underbelly did a show on the Warminster Mysteries, Astonishing UFO Cases. What's actually quite interesting by Arthur Shuttlewood. This is quite interesting, actually, because if I remember rightly, on the Wednesday show, there was multiple UFO sightings in Warminster, which is not too far from where I live. It's about an hour's drive. But what's intriguing is that you got these strange sounds. This it was like a number of anomalies that was happening around this area. Yeah, go check it out. Hidden Underbelly show. We did it on the Warminster Mysteries, and the book came in this week. And I did have something to talk about, but honestly, I'll probably just leave it for Tuesday's show. But that's that famous UFO sighting, which I don't know if it was actually fake or not. I don't know. But go check out Hidden Underbelly show on Wednesday called The Wompster Mystery. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. But yeah, Wompster Mysteries, got that, and obviously that book as well coming. So I know he's a bit of a controversial figure, mate, once you Saxons, but it's a flying hat, Nick. Yeah, that UFO thing. But in terms of these books, they're extremely rare, extremely expensive. But if you're a UFO book collector like I am, hence the sheer amount of books I got here, it's worth having in your collection because in terms of like internet research, which I have been doing on Vril and Maria Orsic, and there's a lot of videos that's just a lot of misinformation out there. But obviously history now is in the making, and a lot of it's on the internet, and it can easily, and I mean easily, be deleted or rewritten. But here on Alien Addict, I save these books. And this is like a historical archive. Isn't that right, Green Tea? Nice to see you. How's it going? I love your thumbnail, by the way. It's awesome. But it's like a historical archive into the history of ufology, which is obviously my forte. Isn't that right, Planetary Protector? Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Happy Friday to you both. So yeah, so if you're new to Alien Addict, and I know some people are familiar to what I deal with Nazi flying saucers, but you probably think, Twisted Hippie, how's it going? Nice to see you, that I just deal with internet research. And I've mentioned this many times. Internet research only gets you so far in terms of finding the real true source of the information, because the internet's it's great for finding information, but it can be it could be a clusterfuck. It can be, right? So what I've got, oh no, wait for that a second. Old publications from Nazi flying saucers. I've got this one here. It's actually banned in Germany, this book. It's called, oh my God, Secret Societies and the Power in the 20th Century. That came out in 1996, talking about Nazi flying saucers. We've got this one here from 1970s, UFO Nazi Secret Weapon, talks about Nazi flying saucers. I've also got these two books called something in German, I can't remember, called about Nazi flying saucers. I've got also this one called Nazi UFOs Secret Bases Exposed, all about Nazi flying saucers. And I got this one of many, okay? So you can see the publications I buy, and I have done some deep dives on these. So if you go to the playlist, you can see I've done a lot of deep dives into basically where these stories come from, okay? So you're not really missing out. But today, obviously, we're talking about Maria Orsic. Hold on, I've got to put this away. Which is going to be focusing on a very rare publication. Oh, obviously, more than magicians. We'll get to that in a minute. So today we are focusing on Maria Orsic, to this book from the Tempelhof Gesellschaft from the 1990s, Dad's Vril project. Oh, man, I've got so much to talk about today. Let's just get on with it, all right? Because I'm going to be rambling on. So where's my book? Got my book, all my notes in it this time. So show, yes, Mrs. That's all good. Breakfast, new books, Nazi books, fantastic. Okay, photographs. I have got every single photograph under the sun of the woman herself. So I tell you, get rid of that, and let's bring up the first one, because there's a really interesting video that popped up, and I thought, oh, it's actually in Italian, but is dubbed into English, which is pretty good. What should I do first? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. She is a hottie, mate. Yeah, I have to. There is a video I've got to show you. Oh, this YouTube video, who is like extremely obsessed by the lady herself. So yes, this photograph is a very common photograph of the lady herself, Maria Orsic. So it's finding the original photograph. Where does the story originate from? And can I actually backtrack it from? Well, it all started from 1992, from this. We'll get to that book in a minute. But let's just go through the photographs first. All right, I've just got to do things in order. Fake photographs. I'll play that video. And I think I'll talk about Maria's. Yeah, we do that instead. Okay. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Yeah, let's do that first. Okay, so what I'm about to show you now is a number of photographs which you can find online, pretty easy, of the lady herself. But this is the thing. A video popped up, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And it's this photograph right here. So we've got this one, all right? I know everyone's getting boners at the moment. Hey, Benjamin, Manny Music, how's it going, brother? Have you got Richard D. Hall's book, Prophet on Aliens? No, I haven't, mate. The only book I got from him was Dr. Judy Wood's book, Where Did the Towers Go? I don't know how he's getting on, mate, to be honest with you. I should probably pop onto his website. I've just fallen off the wagon, to be honest, in terms of Richard D. Hall. I hope he's doing well. It's pretty rare. Okay, mate. All right. It's most probably on his website, but I'll go check it out, brother. But happy Friday to you. Nice to see you. Have you ever tried using VPN for doing searches? Oh, God, yes, actually, saying that, Green Tea, that's a very good point, because the video I'm about to show today, do you know where I found it? Is it some place called Pinterest? We can find all these like photographs. And this was an Italian, and it never shows up on my YouTube algorithm. So that's a very good idea. Unless I'm looking for porn, because we know what it's like at the moment. You know, if you want to look for porn on the internet, not say that I do it, because I've been in business for 13 and a half years, you need VPN to actually change the direction of countries. So you can access that porn. Shut up, Nick. But yeah, I understand it. Yeah, I understand Green Tea. Yeah. Express VPN, but it comes at a cost. Bloody hell, mate. Did you say she was hot? But yeah, anyway, right, this photograph right here. This is a very common photograph, very common one. But we've got this one as well that popped up. And this video I'm about to show you in a sec shows this. And I looked at it, I thought, yeah, do you know what? It's the bloody same photograph. Now, you look to the one on the right, and I tried to backtrack. Where did this one here on the right, actually came from? Right. Pay attention to the clothing. I don't know where this comes from, guys. I have no idea. I used ChatGPT. I used Grok. I've put it through my thing on the computer. And it's just... Yeah, I know. Yeah, waxing your carrot, as one would say in England. I think that's a George Carlin quote, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, if you pay attention here, guys, look at the clothing. It's exactly the same. Now look at the hair, so to speak. So the hair is more or less. I mean, look at that bit there. Let's zoom in a little bit. And everyone, keep in your pants, for Christ's sake. I'm talking about the men here, all right? That's including me. Right, see, it got a bit of tough there and a bit of tough there. In terms of hair, it's pretty much identical. Now, we move down slightly. You can see right here is exactly the same, but this photograph just extends it. But you need to ask yourself this very question. Is this a photograph from the 1930s? You know, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Ray Clay? Keeping your pants, mate, when talking about Maria Orsic and his photographs. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Someone has touched it up. Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah. It's... I'm going to do more research onto this, okay? This specific photograph. But this one here, I would say, is pretty much doctored, okay? Doctored, but you can see it's pretty much the same. But we'll get to the video in a minute. But there are more photographs, all right? We got this one, a beautiful sketch. In your pants, gentlemen, please. Keep it in your pants. Yeah, she's very beautiful, I have to admit, very stunning. What can I say? She's like the perfect figure, isn't she? Let's move on to the other one. We have we've got some sketches, some semi-real photographs, as one would speak. So that's another one there. All right. We've got another one there. I don't know. Your neck's a bit weird, love. And your head's a bit weird. There we go. Right. That is from... we'll get to that in a minute, all right? So Maria Orsic, right there, she has short hair, and this is from the first publication. Hold on, let's bring it up. What can I make myself bigger? That's what she said. Way! Right, remember the story. We'll come to this book in a minute. the Vril project from 1992. And this is where the story really came from of Maria Orsic. Oh, there she is. Hold on. So that's where it comes. See that there? That's where it comes from, all right? But she has short hair there. But yeah, it's still beautiful. So there we go. So that's from 1992. But again, it says there 1930. Okay, so it says there 1930 on the side there, on the left-hand side. So medium der Gesellschaft. No. Taller Gesellschaft. Okay, so this is, I think it needs to be worth mentioning that the fact that in this publication right here, which we'll go through in a sec, it says here Maria Ortiz, medium, which she was, allegedly, and it says here Taller Gesellschaft. Now, people pronounce that as Thule, but the real pronunciation for it in German is Taller, all right? Taller Gesellschaft or Taller Society. Remember when I said Gesellschaft means society or organization in German, all right? So there we go, Taller Gesellschaft. Here's another one. Oh, it's maybe a bit smaller. There we go. So it's kind of hard to tell, but she had blonde hair. Oh, I didn't make my tea. Oh, we'll get it in a minute. All right. So that's another one. All right, I'll zoom in for you guys. I know you want to look at it. There you go. Happy now? It looks 60s. Yeah, the previous ones. Yeah, not those tits, but yeah, this one here. Yeah. Again, it's the long blonde hair. Pretty hot, I have to admit. Here's a real photograph, guys. But as you can see, as you start to go onto the internet and research Maria Orsic, you get a lot of AI. It's not bad, isn't it? It's not bad, so to speak. So that's the Vril Society logo. Yeah, there you go. You get that. I'm showing you photographs that I got online, basically. Hey, John Smith, nice to see you, brother. Welcome on in. Happy Friday. Right. 7 out of 10. Hey, Chillster, how's it go, brother? Nice to see you. Yeah, I'll say, yeah. I like my women a bit. I don't mind. Love's love, man. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who the person is. So, yeah, I would say 7 out of 9. Yeah, go for it. There's another one. And hey, wait, I tell you what, do you know where I got this from? So there was a really controversial woman on X called, I forgot a bloody name now. She hates the Jews. Absolutely detests them. What her name? Marina Serene. Really controversial person who claims to be the reincarnation of Maria Orsic. She actually got banned off X because she was posting a lot of anti-Semitic stuff. I was like, fucking hell, love you. I actually was supposed to interview her, and I kind of backed out a little bit because I was like, oh, a bit too spicy for me. A bit like this photograph. Yeah, I know. There we go, Rebecca. But yeah, there we go. Vril. Yeah. But you understand. It's the long blonde hair. But I'm just showing you everything that I found on the internet. Right. This is a doozy. This is a doozy. Now, can anyone tell me? I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Who that is? Go on. Yeah, she got kicked off. Oh, yeah, I heard about that, mate. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, here we go. Paul Robinson, you got it. That's it. Nice one. Yeah, she got kicked off OnlyFans. Yeah, nothing special, mate. Trust me. I didn't look. I heard. Yeah, Kate Moss. There you got it. Hey, Moody. How's it going, brother? Nice to see you. Yeah, everyone's got Kate Moss. Fantastic. And yeah, happy Friday to you, Moody. Nice to see you. So, yeah, there we go. So, so someone's taken the picture of Hitler and swapped the bloody face around and put Kate Moss's face on there, which is quite hilarious, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. So that's one of them. But actually, no, going back a little bit. Okay, so Kate Moss, not in terms of long blonde hair, gorgeous. Check this out. Yes. She looks kind of like Maria Orsic. This is Kate Moss, by the way. I've got 2 photographs. This one here. Do you know what? It's not, she doesn't look it now. She looks a bit old now, to be honest with you. But it's quite spitting image, isn't it? Of Maria Orsic. It's not bad. That's when she was younger. She's a little bit flat-chested for me. But anyway, you get the idea. And here's another one. Look. Not bad, look. No, is she Chelsea girl? Is she Rebecca? You learn every day. There you go. So, oh, what's this? Melania facial with bones. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Ray Clay too. And size 7 fringe. Yes, I see. Yeah, do you know, not bad face, isn't it? You know, back in the day, not mad. Not bad. Aryan, yeah, I guess so. So yeah, I have to admit, Kate Moss, especially that photograph I saw, I was like, do you know what? Kind of, you could put that on Maria Orsic's face or Hitler's face to make it look like that. But anyway, yeah, you can see there, you know, that is Kate Moss. Actually, it's not look bad looking back in the day. I wasn't really paying attention, but now I'm paying attention because I'm 36-year-old. Kate Moss was, yeah. I thought she was a coke addict. Did she get allegedly? Apparently, don't sue me, Kate Moss. Yeah, Moss was part of the heroin chick. Sorry, I misread that, Rudy. I think she got caught with cocaine at some point. But anyway, you get the idea. But yeah, not bad, not bad. But yeah, this is the thing with the internet. You're going to get a cluster of photographs that kind of pinpoint where this is. You know, it's trying to find out where these photographs come from. And I'm kind of struggling a little bit. We'll get to that one in a sec, all right? But yeah, go figure. There's a lot online. There is a lot online. Yeah, have you seen her now? It's bloody terrible, P.2. Yeah, Dorothy, Doherty, whatever it's called name. But yeah, right. If you want to go back to the original source, this is it, all right? This is a sketch from a documentary called UFOs Secrets of the Third Reich, which I don't have 5 videotapes of. And this is, when was this released? 1994. So this was 2 years after this publication of 1992. And it basically shows this, and we'll get to that in a second, all right? Have I got any more photographs to show? Yeah, that. Do you know what? That there is that, okay? But I want the full shot, because you see, look on the left-hand side, it clips off a little bit, see? And it's like, it's taken a bit back, like more of a landscape view. And we'll get to this publication in a minute. So this is real, excuse me, 1943. I want this photograph and its originality. We'll get to that in a sec. Sorry. I think that's it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is harken all the way back to this, to a video that popped up on my live stream. Not live stream, on my looking at the top left picture. Okay, go back. I'm pretty sure you're talking about so what are you saying there, Moody? Looking at the top left pic, Maria Orschitsch had the nose job and facelift later on. All right, I see what you're saying there, brother. Apparently, yeah, the Aldebaran system. Well, that's where she got the communications from to build these flying saucers. But we get to that in a second. Hey, Tom Baker, how's it going to you? How's it going, brother? Happy Friday. Still sobering up. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, man. Nice to see you. Never heard of Maria? You never heard of Maria? Well, you've heard now, mate. Trust me, you get to know her in a minute. Tom, if you're new to Alien Addict, I welcome into Alien. I'm screwing my words up already. Welcome into Alien Addict. And if you want to find more information on Maria Orsic and her 7 sisters, gorgeous sisters, go onto the Alien Addicts playlist, Nazi Flying Saucers breakdown, and I've got a bunch of parts there. Specifically, check out part 7, which I talk about her, the Real Society, and her 7 sisters. So yeah, fun times would be had by all, as one would say. So I want to do now is, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, going through the publications I have here, we'll get to that, and I just don't think she's real because the lack of evidence. I do have videos to play, a lot of videos to show, but again, am I going to rule it out that she's real? It's just there's such lack of evidence, and how sketchy these photographs that I've showed you doesn't really help the case whatsoever. But I remain open-minded. To quote the 80s band Boss, when real be Oh, mate, I tell you what, I was looking to do is actually play some music, just to sort of get people in before the show started, like 5 minutes before the show starts. And I think that might have been one of them, but I love my 80s music. Massive 80s fan, like huge into 80s music. So but again, if you guys think she's real, I'm not gonna stigmatize you, all right? I'm not gonna be one of those dicks, all right? Oh yes, every single link I'm showing you today is in the description. There is a PDF file, which kind of sounds like a pedophile when I say that, which I can't put on the actual description of the page, but you can, if you want to send me an email, that's where you can contact me on alienaddictpodcast@gmail.com. But we'll get to that in a sec. But what I want to do today is obviously got a load of videos to show. Right, let's go through my notes first. That's done. That's done. Internet research. Play video. It says play video, so let's play video. So, like Green Tea says, if you want to access, for instance, YouTube videos from Italy, German, yeah, ExpressVPN is the way to go. But there was a website or an app that I'm signed up to, and it's called Pinrest, and this popped up. Okay, so this is in description. Okay, so this is called Gran Ministero. It's obviously it's in Italian, I think. So it is auto dubbed. It's got 1.73 million subscribers. Fantastic. And in here it says Maria Orsic wasn't real. Was the real society fake? Photographic analysis. So remember the two photographs that I showed you that look pretty much similar? This is the video where I found it from. So we'll make it a bit bigger. There we go. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that off the top there. Let's get him off there. There we go. And go to that. Into that. So many thanks for VM Gran Mistro. I know I butchered that word up, but again, the links are in description. This is it's only 13 minutes long. Hopefully it'll work. Is dubbed into English, and this is to do with the photographs, and you just go into a bit more detail where the story of Maria Orsic come from. It is immensely fascinating, I have to admit, but nevertheless, let's do this. Hey, Dan Peters, nice to see you, brother. Oh, is it? Please.
Greetings, mystery seekers, and thank you for visiting grmysterio.org. You see, ever since I started studying mystery topics, there has always been a much talked about and widely told story that has been repeated on many internet forums, referring to the esotericism of ancient Germany, to a secret society called the Brill Society, different from the Blue Society. The Brill Society was led by several women with very long hair who channeled messages from, according to the story, extraterrestrial beings, messages by automatic writing. These women would go into a trance and write. Their hands would move on their own, channeling the messages from these beings. According to the story, these beings, I repeat, were the gods of Mesopotamia, Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki. Dozens of books have been written about this. There is a lot of information on the subject, with completely different data, but more or less following the common thread of what I have just told you. The thing is that when we look for the sources of where this story came from, not only do we not find them, but we find another very different and really interesting story.
This is it, guys. I'm sorry for pausing. Is that because I find this the whole story of Nazi flying saucers very intriguing with Maria Orsic and the Real Society. The internet only gave you so far in terms of the sources. This is why I went all the way back and I bought these publications as much as I can to find out where the story originated from. So this is why I buy these books and everything. So he's sort of going to harken back to pretty much what I've repeated in past live streams.
In fact, the image you are seeing is of one of the leaders of this secret society called the Brill Society, Maria Orsic. Maria Orsic, of great beauty, as the image shows us, has been the standard bearer of the story I have told you. It is Maria Orsic who, well, was always counted on when formulating this whole story. But I have to tell you something, the photograph is 100% fake, and let's get straight to it. This is the photograph that is usually used, although it is also usually used cropped and you are already seeing where things are going, but the original is this one here. A woman from 1950 has had her facial features replaced and pasted on to formulate this fake. Look directly. Of course, here in the image of Maria Orsic that we usually see on the internet or in the stories, we see points that are not clear. For example, here is a cut. You can see a cut from the copy and paste on top of the model. Here we also see a blur that doesn't match the forehead and, in fact, if you notice, the proportion of the head is not right with the body.
How's it going? I see you, Dan.
We can see this in the intermediate step where the face is clearly glued, and then we can see it much better in a correct twist of the neck and a correct direction of the face as it is semi-inclined. If you look at the lines of the suit, we can see that it is the same suit. In fact, notice that we see here that there is no hair here and they have cloned her hair and put it underneath. In other words, the photographs of Maria Orsic that you have seen in this story when you have looked for information are false, absolutely all of them.
Possibly.
This is a fact that has been discovered, and that makes us think a lot, right? Why make a fake of Maria Orsic? Why? Who is the woman we are seeing? Well, there is a theory that tells us that it is Nina von Lebruja, mother of Uma Thurman. Later we will show some images so that you can see it in comparison, but the image is undoubtedly a fake. Now, I am going to tell you the real data of where the source of the history of the Brill Society came from.
Guys, chill.
First of all, there is no historical trace. There is no historical source of the Brill Society, but there is one of the Blue Society, the Society of the Blacks.
We'll get to the Brill. Oh, trust me, there's again a massive deep dive into this.
Son. The Blue Society was real. Thule is written, Thule. But there is absolutely nothing about April in historical sources or documents.
Oh, let's Google that.
It was two people, Theo Packmans and Malcolm Nicholson, who discovered where the word Brill first came from in Berlin. It was in a pamphlet called Brill Kosmische Ukraft, a pamphlet that was distributed throughout Berlin, which began to circulate around the city. And the publisher of this pamphlet spoke of an energy called Brill, cosmic Brill energy, of superior beings called Brilla. This is the story of the pamphlet in Berlin, but before this pamphlet was published, there was a story of Brill as an energy in another place thanks to a novel written by a gentleman named Edward Bulwer.
Yeah, the thing is, the AI translation makes it says Brill instead of Brill. Oh, dear.
Leiden, who in his science fiction novel narrated a story of some intraterrestrial beings who used Brill energy. They were already Brill, before the Berlin pamphlet, as if the people behind the Berlin pamphlet had read this science fiction novel and said, let's make it seem real. Why? Well, as you know, there were many interests in indoctrination.
I've been doing well, Black Dot. Nice to see you.
What's more, these two authors, Theo Packman, although Nicholson, discovered that Elena Petrova Blavatsky had read Mr. Edwards' novel and decided to integrate these concepts of Brill energy, of the written Brills, into theosophy. Sure, why did Elena Prito-Blavatsky do this? Why incorporate something that was
Yeah, we
known to
do.
be a science fiction novel as something real? Perhaps the concept was real, but why include the same words brill? And all these are the questions of Pickmans and Malcolm Nicholson, with whom I may agree, but I will give you my opinion later.
Okay, so basically what he's saying that the concept of real, and I've talked about this to death on my previous parts, that yes, the real concept can be traced back to 1897 book called Coming of the New Race by Edward Bulwer Lytton. So you can say that real was really started from a science fiction book. But there are some publications that came out, which I'm going to show you in a sec after this video is finished, that sort of suggest there were some kooky societies back in the day in terms of what the Germans were, obviously like the Toller Gesellschaft, the Toller Society, and amongst other society as well, that were sort of dealing with this sort of mysticism. But Vril itself was pretty much like a popular term back in the day, but they sort of twisted it and applied it as obviously Vril is the what we call like an energy source, basically. Again, I don't want to dwell too much into it because I've done so much deep dive into it in the past live streams, which you could go check out the playlist.
Look, later on the famous Powells and Bergier emerged, mythical for the return of the sorcerers, who adapted that story that they read in Elena Prito-Blavatsky's books on theosophy. They adapted it in their own writings, and this led to the name of the Briller-Powell Society emerging for the first time.
1871, my bad, yeah.
What happens is that it was not until 1992 that the name of Maria Orsic appeared in a book called Das Brill Project by an Austrian named Razifer.
That's it there. What was that?
Sure, when the internet came about and this book was published, people thought it was real and a much more embellished myth was created, much more embellished than in the book by Maria Orsic and the Brill Society. My friend Pablo Virgil collected this in a magazine that he himself was able to provide me with the information about these two men. And it seems to me that it fits in very well with what we have seen regarding the fabrication of history, a fabricated story. Now, I do want to give you my personal opinion on the matter. Perhaps there is some truth, but that truth is not called Maria Orsic or the Brill Society. The great secrets of history, and much more so if they are related to ulterior beings or energies that we cannot even control with science, those secrets are very difficult to reach us. It is possible that the Brill Society was built from the Blue Society, which was
Yeah, pretty much, Dan Peters. Yeah, I can get arrested for tweets now, but I still think Starmer's a complete, anyway. My thoughts on it.
And I will talk to you about it on some program.
It's early stages with this AI translation. It's a bit odd, isn't it?
But pulling the thread, seeing where the information came from, how the word has been distorted, how it has been integrated into various authors and completely distorted since 1992, we conclude that we cannot take the story as true.
It's just his opinion, all right? I know people kind of get a bit upset that, you know, he's more or less, he's in one way sort of debunking the whole myth. But don't worry, we're going to get into that kooky side of it because there's some little nudges that makes you go, oh, but what about this, which we'll get to, all right? Don't worry, guys, there's a deep dive today.
There was a connection with Nikola Tesla, who claimed to have obtained the plans for a UFO from the Brill Society with that channeling of Sumerian beings who gave him the knowledge.
Oh, where is it to? Oh, where is it to? Where's that bomb? Yeah, okay, that. Oh, come on. There we go. Come on. So the Nikola Tesla story, I'm not too sure. And it was pretty much Sorry, just bring it up here. Came from this book here called, oh, I'll just bring it up quickly on the screen. Where's the bloody thing? There we go. Yeah, that. That author there, really not too sure. But yeah, that is the connection. So Maria Orsic, Nikola Tesla, and their extraterrestrial messages, occult and UFOs part 1. I'm not too sure if it's real, I'm going to be honest with you. But the connection between Maria Orsic and Nikola Tesla, it's just speculation. Trust me, bros, as one would say.
The story may be as interesting as you want, but the source does not exist. There are only distortions of concepts that lead us to what you have seen.
That's the words, mate, yeah. Cheers, Jeff.
By the way, to finish, look at the face. Pablo Virgil told me that it looks like Bonn, Girl Bonley Brug.
Oh, does it? Hold
Forgive my German because it is terrible, if my English is already bad. I'm going to move here so you can see better. Let's see, wait a moment.
Mate, yeah.
This is it, I am moving here. Look, let's see, I am doing it wrong, wait a moment. Okay, look, it is a theory, it is not confirmation that it is so. But, babe, Bonn's Lebrew, it looks like it does. Now, if you're curious, you can investigate that. Anyway, I thought it was a good program because this is blatant. This is very obvious. The part where we see that it was built based on a copy and paste of an image.
Okay, all right. So you get the concept, guys, all right? I'm not going to play too much of this video. Link is in description if you want to go check out that specific video. So you can see where I've got the two photographs side by side from this video, which, again, is his opinion. Doesn't mean that it's real. But again, is this photograph from the 1930s or even before then? But again, it might have been doctored to a certain degree. Okay, so that's done. So let's go through. What should I do first? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so if you want this Dazvril project PDF file, here is my email. I can't put it in description. It won't allow me to do it. alienaddictpodcast@gmail.com. Okay. I'm going to leave it on the screen now so you guys can see. The first ever mention of Maria Orsic. We'll do that first. Because I put this through Grok and Grok said something and I was like, okay, let me go check out this first of all, whether or not I can actually find Maria Orsic. It doesn't come up. So Grok lied to me. We'll get to that in a second. But it's to do with this. So the whole story of the concept of Nazi flying saucers, the Haunebu, the Vril flying saucers, the expansion of the Vril Society, because you can trace back the Vril Society from, well, actually earlier than this, Morning of the Magicians that came out in 1960s, which talks about the Vril Society using mystical energy to, it's in one way sort of not really powering flying machines, but it's using it as a mystical energy source, okay? But it's not really putting it as flying saucers. No mention of Maria Orsic in this book, but we'll get to that in a second. Morning of the Magicians, okay? The authors, I can't bloody remember the names, but the real story of Maria Orsic came from this. So the Tempelhof Gesellschaft was the organization in Vienna from the 80s to around about mid-2000s. And this was more or less a self-publishing company or organization or Gesellschaft. But if you put this in Google, it will say this is a neo-Nazi organization, okay? I haven't really seen any Jew-related stuff from what I've seen. Again, I've only gone through a handful of publications. But Das Vril Project, the Vril Project, came out in 1992, and this is where the story of Maria Orsic and the Vril Society, the Haunebu flying saucers, like that picture there, like the short-haired woman, Maria Orsic. There we go. So this is the first, technically, publication or photograph of her herself. So I've got this as a PDF file. Again, if you want it, there's the email address. You can go check it out. And we're going to go through this publication right now. But this is one thing I've noticed on this. I thought this might be the original publication. It's not. It's an expansion, because when I go down here, it says 1999, and this publication came out in 1992. So the last page of this, hold on, I'm not sure I got this right. Okay, let's bring up a bigger for you guys. There you go. Okay. Oh God. Jesus. Oh, that image in my head, mate. I can't get out now. I'll be dreaming for days on that one. Obviously making me jealous at the same time. Okay. Which is the last page on this one? That, right. This is the last page. Sorry, darling. That there, okay, from my original publication, from the actual society itself, which I managed to get. So Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel were the two Austrians that co-written this book together. They also co-written two documentaries that came out in 1994 and 1992. One of them in 1994 was called UFO Secrets of the Third Reich, and I'm going to show that in a second. And another one called UFOs, Secret German Flying Saucers of World War II that came out in 1992. So pretty much 2 years in unison to where the publication came out, okay? So this was the last page of my original publication, but then you go down here and it says 1999. So I think this might be a reprint of the real project. And then you start getting, let's bring up a bigger. Yeah, I can do it. There we go. Like just different drawings and like sketches. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. We might see another sketch of Maria Orsic. Again, these sketches you can find online of these psychic mediums. Because again, it's not just Maria Orsic. Maria Orsic and Tauta, these were the two, I'll call them scissor sisters, basically. And obviously Sigrun, we had Heine, Gundren, amongst, again, I've done a massive deep dive. If you could check out part 7 on the playlist that I've got on Alien Addict. So again, that starts to come out, that picture or sketch, whatever you want to call it, of Maria Orsic. And again, some more sketchy stuff. So it's there you go. There's Talda and Maria, the Scissor Sisters, as they call them, from 1999. Oh, we got a number there. Okay. Yeah, it's just a symbol. Again, is that sketch. Yeah, Sigrun, Talta. There you go. And that's, what's her name? X, isn't it? Mrs. X or something like that. And you see these fake photographs, this is my personal opinion on this one, of these Haunebu and real flying saucers. So this is where it all came from, guys, okay? And I could show you right now, really, really bad drawings. Well, I say drawings, but photographs, alleged photographs of Haunebu and real flying saucers. I'm going to show you that right now. So this is where it all came from, guys. I've talked about this to death in my previous parts. Let's go up. There we go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Real Society. There we go. We have some really grainy, crappy Nazi flying saucers in the sky. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Got some decent ones here. I'll get to the chat in a sec. Sorry, guys. Wait for it. Wait for it. I'll just use the thing, Nick. There you go. Here we go. So you can see here. We've gone through the photographs before of the Sigrun. So this is the victory symbol right here. And so, again, if I had this in black and white, proper, not like this, where it's all grainy and crap, you can actually see the landscape and everything, it would probably help the case that they probably built something like this. But again, they would have used it during the war. You see what I mean? It's like it doesn't really help their case, so to speak, because it's so bloody grainy. Like that photograph. Hold on, I'm going to burp. Go burp. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, again, as we go up, you can see sketches like that. I want to see that. I don't want to see grainy, crappy. You know, I want to see it in its entirety. It looks like awesome, isn't it? Do you think they could build that at 2x4? Like that? I don't know. Let's go up even more. Got some Haunebu flying saucers here. Oh yeah, that's the ship. Apparently, allegedly, Maria Orsic flown to Aldebaran after the Second World War. Where is it to? Yeah, we've got Sigrun from the medium of the real Gesellschaft. Maria Orsic from the Tula Gazelle shaft. So this is here, apparently, allegedly, trust me, bro, is what Maria Orsic actually translated down, because again, Maria Orsic had telepathic communications from a star system called Aldebaran, which is in the constellation of Taurus, 68 light years away, where these so-called Aryans gave communications to her, and she went into a trance amongst her 7 sisters, like Talta and Sigrun. And what she actually written down was this in Sumerian, a Mesopotamia language. And then it was translated by someone called Peter. Oh my God, I'm butchering his name now. I can't think. Peter something. I've talked about it in the past here. But again, this is allegedly the sketches she wrote down during her trance. What else we got here? Sorry, guys, for not paying attention to the chat. We'll get to that in a sec. But just to show you, like, how crappy these photographs. The Andromeda machine. This is like the mothership that was created. The Haunebu 5. Oh, that's the Haunebu 3. Had gun turrets underneath it. Some blueprints there. There we go. The Haunebu with the upside down Panther turret. We'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, this is where it all began, guys, from this publication right here in 1992 called Dad's Vril Project. That, I want to see that in proper colored form. That'd be great. That's obviously Victor Schauberger. Nothing to do with anti-gravity. Well, actually, no, it is sort of anti-gravity, but it's water vortex, so not tachyon drives. So yeah, I'm blabbering on too much. So yes, Dad's Vril Project is where it all began, from this publication right here. And you can see right here, Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel in 1992. Booyah! Hey, Sophia! How's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I caught the last bit of your live stream. I was going to say hello, but you ended. You were having a nice little walk with your dog. That was awesome. It's really, really nice. Bit of change of scenery. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, and happy 420. But it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you, Sophia. Let's just go through chat. Sorry, guys, if I missed you, missed everyone. I think that's everything. Yeah, I haven't missed anyone now. You would think that at least one country will have released some evidence. Yeah, isn't it just a bit weird that every single one sticks? Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest with you, Green Sea. It's the lack of evidence. The thing is with the Nazis is that they pretty much catalogued everything. They wrote everything down. This is why we knew so much about the concentration camps in terms of like their technologies and stuff like that. So it's, but again, well, I tell you what, we'll move away from this publication. But if you would like to have that publication, email me on alienaddictpodcast@gmail.com. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Right. So we've done a real project, PDF file, real project. So Grok. So I put in Grok, right? Where is it to? Let's bring it up. Because I use Grok as just not a source for information. It's just sort of give me some guidance to find out the information, like books and publications and stuff like that, and especially the story of, like, where's the first ever mention of Maria Orsic. So I put this in Grok. So when was the first ever mention of Maria Orschitsch? And it says here, the first documented mention of Maria Orschitsch, otherwise spelled as Maria Orschitsch, Maria Orsic, or Maria Orsic. Okay, it's got a J in there for some odd reason. So there's different similarities to it. It appears to be in 1967. Get to that second. Multiple sources, including conspiracies, esoteric websites, podcasts, and secondary references, consistently state that she was first mentioned and pictured in the book called, now this right here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out of that, come out of that. I'm going to do entire screen. I think that's going to help the case a bit better. There we go. Hey, look at that. Okay, so this right here, let's get rid of that, is a German word. But it actually says here, the dawn of the third millennium, one of future of fantastic reason, by authors, these are the authors that created the Morning of the Magicians. Okay, so right here. So let's bring up that. And this is what people are saying, that the first mention of Maria Orsic was in 1967. Well, let's get to it then. Let's go to Internet Archive, and I've got the book right here. Oh, there you are, darling. Okay, let's borrow the book. Got to bloody borrow it these days. Bloody nightmare. So right here, you can see on the side, see where my cursor is. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, tell you what, bring it up a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so right here, I'm going to put in Maria Booth. Okay, so it's got two things right here. Okay, so page 260 and page 458, and it mentions just Maria, not Maria Orsic, but Maria itself. And I thought, well, I'll tell you what, why don't I put that in Google and translate it into English? Well, not actually put it in Grok. But there's a problem. It's saying it's called Mary and not Maria. So it right here, so it says here, does the oh no, where is it? Is it that one or that one? Oh, there it is there. Okay, so I took a screenshot of the word Maria. You can see it's right there. Okay, Maria, you gotta see her. I should have played that before the live stream. So here's a cleaned up English translation that provided in the German text. And right here it says, and this is the part. So it says, look, Jesus, Maria, and Joseph. So see there, Maria. So Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So it's saying that this, where it says Maria, is actually Mary. Okay, so there's no Maria actually in this part in the book right here. And again, we went to the second bit, which is page 248 or something like that. And again, it's mentioned the word Mary and not Maria. So there is no mention of Maria Orsic in this publication. Okay. What's this one? That's really low. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so it's saying here, so first things first, that publication right here, I've just shown you, there is no mention of Maria Orsic. Absolutely none. Let's just go through chat for a second. Yeah, well, good, Sophia. Yeah, I just sort of recharging my batteries as one would speak. Yeah, honestly, you know what? No cravings whatsoever, but it's mostly the money I need to save and obviously recharge my battery. We'll get to that near the end. But no, I'm doing well, Sophia. Really, really well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. So yeah, there we can see. Hold on. Wait. Okay, so you can see that publication right there. No mention of Maria Orsic. So this book originally published in French, called that in French in the 1960s, and it was translated into German in 1967, and this was called Morning of the Magicians. Okay, so I've got that book right here. So this popularized the occult and pseudo-historical ideas about Nazi esotericism, including Vril Society. The specific claims about Maria Ortiz introducing in 1967 edition was repeated across many online sources discussing her alleged role as a medium leader of the Vril Gesellschaft or Vril Society, who supposedly channeled extraterrestrials from Aldebaran for advanced technology. Okay, so people like Billy Carlson keeps on saying that, and it's really bloody annoying because the guy hasn't really done research into it at all. So it's saying here there is no credible historical evidence of her existence prior to this in 1967 publication. Obviously after that in 1992, where the story really came from. Okay, so straight off the bat, there is no mention of Maria Orsic on that page. I mentioned that several times. And so I put that, so does that book mention Maria Orsic? And it says, no, it doesn't. Okay. So then I was like, okay, I tell you what, let's go to Morning of the Magicians, which I have here in my publication. Right there. Okay. Yeah. I still have that slight brain fog, but I'm clearing up quite nicely, I think. Honestly, I need that now £500 microphone. So I think stopping weed was probably the best thing I can do. Right, where am I going to here? Right. So there are a number of copies of Morning the Magicians. This is the original one that was translated to English. I went through every single one. I tell you, here's a typical example, trying to find the word of Maria Orsic to whether or not I can actually trace it back before 1992. Borrow the book. Go on then, let's borrow it. So Morning of the Magicians talks about the Vril Society. And what I'm going to do here, just going to do this one time because I've done this all day today. So on the side here, Maria, put Maria Orsic. There you go. No results. So no matches found on it. Okay. And I've done that over and over and over again. Why have you got to borrow these books all of a sudden? It should be free. Not cool. Just one more time, just to show you. This is by Louise Perrault, French author. So again, on the side here, Maria Orsic. Any matches? No matches. So there's no mention of Maria Orsic in the 1960s. Okay, so this is just trying to prove my point. But this is what people don't realize. There is a rocket scientist talked about Vril Society. It's only in a very, very small publication. All right, so the only mention of Vril, not Maria Orsic, but the Vril Society, came from Willy Lai. And Vril comes from his 1947 article, Pseudoscience in Naziland, published in Astounding Science Fiction magazine. In it, Lai, a German rocket engineer who immigrated to the United States in 1937, described a fringe group of pre-Nazi or early Nazi area Berlin obsessed with this concept of Vril. Okay, so a fictional, all-powerful energy force from Edward Buer Lytton's book in 1871 novel Coming of the Coming Race, or Coming of the New Race, also known as Vril, the power of the coming race. Okay, but this is his quote. So the rocket engineer actually says this. All right, I'm going to screw the wording up on this. My reading's getting slightly better, so bear with me, guys. The next group was literally founded upon a novel, Edward Buer Lytton's book. Okay, the group, which I think called itself that in German, which is called Society of Truth, and which was more or less localized in Berlin, devoted to spare time looking for Vril. Yes, their convictions were founded upon Buer Lytton's The Coming Race, obviously his book. They knew that the book was fiction. Buer Lytton had used that device in order to be able to tell the truth about the power. The subterranean humanity was nonsense. Vril was not. Possibly it had enabled the British to keep it as a state secret, to amass their colonial empire for reasons which I fail to penetrate. Is that right? The secret of Vril, the secret of Vril could be founded in contemplating and structural of an apple slice and halves. No, I'm not joking. I butchered that right up. Sorry, guys. I know you're thinking, Nick, stop reading. Well, tough. I've got to read on this one. But again, he mentions of the word Vril in a very, very small publication in 1947. Again, he immigrated to America in 1937. But it talks about Vril was not. But again, it's mentioned Edward Buer Lytton's book, obviously talking about this subterranean humanity, which was basically, they used the power of Vril for like power flying machines, healing properties, and obviously destroying planets is one of them. So again, it's this mystical energy source called Vril. But he says here Vril was not. So just a very, very small publication, okay, from Willy Lai. Is everyone taking the piss out of me? My reading. Billy Carson had access to some good information. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Green Tea. He says a lot of bullshit stuff, mate. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, with the weed stuff. Yeah. So again, guys, you can see very, very small publication in 1947. Let's skip forward. Hold on. Okay, so we've done that. Ask Grok that. Morning Magicians, done that. Put Maria Orsic, translate into English. Really lie. Okay, so skip forward to 1930 to this publication right here. Now, there was a clip that I found on the internet by Billy Carlson, and this proves that the Real Society was real. Again, this is only a 25-page pamphlet called Real, and people go, oh, that immediately proves that Real was real at this time, or the Real Society, so to speak, because it's got this big word right here. This is a real publication from 1930, okay? But what this is called Vril, the Cosmic Primal Force, Rebirth of Atlantis, all right? It's all in German, and it came out in Germany, in Berlin, in 1930, like I said. There's no mention of Haunebu, Vril, flying saucers, nothing like that, but it mentions the word Vril a number of times. Okay, let's bring it up here. Vril your mummy. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so it's got 13 results of Vril on here, okay? See it right there. So again, it's all in German. Have I translated this? No, I don't think I have in other things I've done. So I've put this in Grok. I said, what is this book about? And it says here, a short esoteric pamphlet around 25 pages to 60 pages long, dependent on the editing and reprint, published in Berlin by, oh my God, I'm going to read that word at all. So this is someone called Wilhelm Becker. Okay, so the text explores Vril as the cosmic, or it's actually the cosmic primal force, okay? A universe and permitting energy dawn by Edward Bewer's Leighton's book. So again, it's mentioned in the novel again, right there, The Coming Race. So in 1871 novel, okay? So again, it's a science fiction book. And it mentions some like key words in this one. So it mentions, where are the words here? I think it's worth mentioning, but it doesn't really mention a society. It just mentions that the fact that is using the mystical power, the mystical power source of Vril, but it's not really applying it to flying machines. But there are some publications that came out at that time period, especially in the early 20s, about that sort of concept of using Vril for flying machines. But again, it's based upon a science fiction novel. But it's using this cosmic energy rather than purely oh my God, fucking hell. I should just translate this to English, really, to be honest with you. Oh, actually put in AI into English. I'm just going to read it in my head. So it's talking about the mystical power source of Vril. And there was a key word that gets brought up. That word there. World dynamism. Don't judge. I'm still trying to learn to read to a certain degree. But again, it's not really mentioning using the power source of Vril for power and flying machines, okay? But it mentions ancient Atlantis a lot in this publication. Yeah, dynamic technology. This is it. But again, it's not, I'm just repeating myself here. It's not really applying it to flying machines, but it's more of a spiritual and ethical development, all right? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to translate this book into English, and I'll do a separate episode on it because I think it's worth going into. So just to prove my point, guys, mystical power source there. We go out. Okay. I'm going to come out of that into that. I'll do that next time. All right. I'll do that next time. What I'll do, that publication right there, which I'm going to bring up. Hold on. I knew that would fucking happen. God damn it. It's a learning curve, guys, learning curve. But yeah, I will break this down in English about this publication. Again, it's only like 25 pages, but it mentions the word vril. I just want to see, I know it doesn't mention about powering flying machines or anything like that, so to speak. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. But again, it was just a point I'm trying to get across, that nothing to do with flying machines, but it was using as a spiritual force, okay? But harkening back to Edward Bulwer Lytton's book. But again, it's mentioned in vril in 1930, okay? So are we ruling out the Vril Society? I'm 50-50 on it. I'm very 50-50 on it, to be honest with you. So that's done. That's done. Only reference to Maria Orsic. So yeah, the only reference to Maria Orsic is from the Vril Project. Okay. But to expand on that a little bit, where are we to here? Is it that one? No. Oh, that one now. Okay. Got that. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to show you something now. If you want this is in description as well, if you want to find it. So Norbert Jürgen Rathofer, this guy right here, you can see, has a number of publications that is on Internet Archive. It's actually got 8 publications right here. They're about 100 pages long. Part 7 is me breaking down part 4 of this booklet, and it's all to do with Vril and Maria Orsic. Again, you've got Maria Orsic. Beautiful. And again, we have her 7 sisters, Tralta. We have Sigrun. We've got Gunrun, Heidi, Paula, Veronica, Marguerite, Marguerite 5, and this is Medium X. That's it. Yeah. So again, I've broken this whole thing down on part 7, which we did that 45-minute long presentation on. So this is part 4, and there's many parts on here. Now part 5, you have some pretty cool pictures of like Nazi flying saucers, alleged flying saucers. So this is in description if you want it. I tell you what, I'm put it in chat. There you go. So that you can. Oh God, don't say that. But yeah, you can see it right there, guys. It's right there for you. You can go check it out. But this is the whole breakdown of the Vril Society, which really, the expansion of the Vril Society. Again, Vril Society was brought up in the 1960s in the morning of the magicians, but Maria Orsic, that story really came from here. Okay, so you can read. Well, it's all in German. You can translate it for yourself if you wanted to, and it all came from these publications right here. In fact, I've got one of them right here, haven't I? So that's in description for you. I'm going to play some videos, guys, now. All right. Oh my God, Nick, what am I doing? Idiot. There we go. So yeah, the Vril Project is one of them. But I got this one here called The Time Machine. Norbert Jürgen Rathofer. Does it mention anything about Vril in here? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's got the original photographs of the flying saucers. You can see that there. Hold on, bring that up again. There we go. There we go. You can see. Again, I'll probably do a breakdown on this one at some point. So that's another publication I've got from the society itself. Okay. Chuck that there. All right. Okay, cool. So when Vril Maria and her sisters even gets their hair cut, apparently it acts like antennas, apparently. They must have been tripping. It's bloody long, isn't it? Apparently it goes down to their ass, apparently, according to, well, the sketches and all that. So, yeah. ChatGPT, read that loud. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can actually do that. The thing is, with that publication, Rebecca, I've got to translate into English because it's all in German, but we'll do that in due course. So hopefully that made sense. Because I understand, basically, the story of Maria Orsic really started from 1992, and I cannot find any publications before then to see whether or not actually the name crops up in any publications before 1992, and it doesn't. But what's his name? Billy Carlson says you can actually find her name before 1992, and I can't. So he obviously hasn't done any research. He was on News Nation, didn't he? He was debunked, wasn't it? Talking about the Bible and stuff like that. Shall I do that one? Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to play some videos now, guys, so we can all sit back and relax. Stop me blabbering on too much. Again, all links are in descriptions. Now, I'm not going to get triggered. I never get triggered. When have I been triggered? Many times. Right. So there, Sheep of Pop. I know you. There you go. You put that there. You can go check that out for yourself. So this guy here called Fabian Rush, haunting conversations. Maria Ortish. Okay, so again, I'm not going to bash this guy, but I did put a comment in his comment section saying, look, because he's basically using so basically the video I'm about to show you now, he's using AI as to have a conversation with allegedly Maria Orsic, apparently. Allegedly, but even though he says in She Pop Pop's comment down the bottom here, was it 2? That this is basically for entertainment purposes only, and he know that he wasn't speaking to Maria Orsic. This is entertainment purposes only, and I'm not absolutely taking this seriously. But he hasn't really, well, he actually states this, he hasn't really done any research into this whatsoever. In terms of research on the internet, like I said, there's a lot of BS in terms of this conspiracy, purely because there's a lot of people that haven't really done research into it. I'm just going to play like five minutes of this, just so you can understand the concept of what the guy's doing in this video. Because when you're relying on AI to get your information, I'm guilty of it sometimes. To pinpoint me is not for historical accuracy. It's just to pinpoint me. Thank you, Sophia. Yes, absolutely. It's to pinpoint me in a certain direction, and I just do my own sort of thing. I'm just going to play 5 minutes of this, and yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay. So again, links are in description, and this is Fabian Rush. Haunting Conversations with Maria Ortish.
And ask them a few interview series. I'm going to conjure up long dead historical figures and ask them a few questions. No, I won't be using antiquated occult tools like Ouija boards to communicate with my guests. Rather, I'll be using the power of artificial intelligence.
Oh, New Grower, nice to see you, buddy.
AI chatbots trained on massive amounts.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll go check that out. I'll bring up in a sec. 2 seconds.
Of available data from biographies, speeches, and other available media have been programmed to believe that they are the specific historical figure they're told to represent. Each historical AI guest will be given voice by the software developed by 11 Labs.
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well.
I'm your host, Fabian Rush, and in today's episode, we'll be talking with Maria Orsic, a somewhat sinister and mysterious presence during World War II era Germany. I say sinister for reasons that you will soon be finding out. She was part of the Vril Society, which was essentially a UFO cult that existed and eventually was annexed into the Nazi Party. The reason I chose to interview her was purely because of my interest in UFO history, the origins of remote viewing, the way people research channeling and other mysteries of the human mind. So Maria Orsic was one of the early people in our modern culture that you can look to to see some of the origins of some of these strange mysteries.
We'll get there.
That's a rather strange and awkward introduction to who this person actually was. She was a real person. Vril Society was a real cult, and they absolutely did believe in UFOs.
Now, he's saying that on absolutely no research whatsoever. Okay, so this is, I've researched Maria Orsic and the Vril Society so much on YouTube, and I could not believe the bollocks that was coming out of people's mouths. Like, they couldn't even tell you where the story came from, where it all began, where Maria Orsic came from, nothing. But they're saying that is true. It's like, well, hold on a minute, where's your research into it? And I basically, wait, no, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So, without further ado, let's talk with Maria Orsic, or at least the AI representation of Maria.
Go for it.
Hi, Maria. I'm Fabian, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you as well. How may I be of assistance to you today?
I'd like to ask you a few questions. I'm very curious about you and your abilities.
Of course, you may ask me anything you would like. I will do my best to provide you with accurate and detailed responses. What would you like to know?
Okay, start. Perhaps we'll start generally. When were you born? When and where were you born?
Okay, right. First things first. Everyone says she was born in Vienna. She was not born in Vienna. She was born in Croatia, in Zagreb.
I was born in Zagreb, Donji Grad, Croatia, on October 31st, 1895.
So, right, straight off the bat, the thing is with AI, it's where is the information coming from? This is it's using some sort of information, but whether or not it's actually historical accuracy or the thing is, you just don't really know. So, is he going to take this for truth? Like, again, it's just entertainment purposes, but again, it's giving off the wrong information. Basically, you need to fact check where these stories came from. This is why I bought these publications, to find, like I said, these stories.
I'll have to fact check that. I actually did not fact check any of this before starting this interview, so I don't know. Some of this is going to be new for me.
Okay, right. So what I put into his comment section, I says, really, really nicely, I says, I run a channel on Alien Addict, and I've done a deep dive into Marie Orsic and the Vril Society. Either YouTube or him deleted the comment. So I've literally given him the resources. I told him where to go to find the resources to fact check whether or not the information is real. Literally gave it to him, and then either he deleted it. It really pissed me off. It wind me up. I was like, dude, like, why? Like, I didn't put any links in. I was just like, you want to probably check out this publication because this is where it all began. And then my comment was bloody deleted. I was like, cheers.
I've heard stories about your special abilities. Would you tell me about your psychic talents, please?
I am a psychic medium, which means I can communicate with spirits. I am also a clairvoyant, which allows me to see the future and past events. Additionally, I possess the ability to channel spirits into my body and give them a voice.
Okay, I think character.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, that's such a bloody good point. This is a bit of a backtrack. Nothing to do with Maria Orsic. There is a YouTube channel called Sarah and Sage, where she is exactly the same thing here. Like when she speaks to an AI generated thing, all to do with conspiracies, and it'll give back like conspiracy theories. And what people, she's got thousands of views in such a short amount of period of time. It's unbelievable. It's because the AI is trained to know who you are, what your interests are, is get to know you. So you talk about conspiracies, is going to give you conspiracies. This is it. It's like, but yeah, you make a really good point there, Moody. Absolutely.
AI does not necessarily know how to pronounce the word clairvoyant. So small error there. Thank you. At what age did you learn that you had psychic abilities?
I first discovered my psychic abilities when I was a young child. I was around 8 years old and experienced visions and dreams. that I couldn't explain.
Do you know what, Sadie? Spot on there. That is not mentioned in any of the publications on Maria Orsic. Absolutely none. So that already is made up. Like, I was going back through Norbert Jorger Rattlhofer's book where the original story came from. You can't find it. This, when I was 8 years old and I had psychic abilities. Just a couple more minutes, because it's just a point I'm trying to get across, right? AI, it could be a useful tool, but in his case, it's not doing him any favors. And the thousands of people who's actually watched this is giving the wrong information to a certain degree.
I knew there was something special about me, and I began to explore this gift further.
Okay. Were your parents aware of your abilities?
Yes, my parents were aware of my abilities from a young age. My mother was also a psychic medium who possessed the ability to communicate with spirits. She encouraged me to embrace my gifts and teach me how to use them responsibly.
It's really fortunate that you had a supportive and loving mother to guide you.
Yes, I am very fortunate to have had such supporting parents. They both believed in me and encouraged me to explore my psychic abilities.
Okay, well, right, enough of that. That's 5 minutes of. Guys, you make some really good points there. That the AI is given a false perspective, extreme false perspective on this. Okay, like I said, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but go back on the parts I've done on Maria Orsic. This might be the 7th time I've talked about Maria Orsic and the Real Society. I've done such a deep dive into it. I know this conspiracy at the back of my hand. And when I was watching through this, it was like 25% right, and the rest of it was complete total nonsense. And this is the problem with AI now. This is no disrespect to him. I know it's for entertainment purposes, but it's an extremely lazy way of researching. And even he said himself, links in the description if you watch the video, he hasn't fact checked where these stories come from. So this is all new to him. And it's just, that's not the right approach to any sort of subject. And I find AI at the moment, again, it can be a useful tool to use to give, like for me with Grok, it gives me some guidance. Okay, go check out this, or but I'm not absolutely relying on AI for my information, so to speak. I'd rather go back to books. This is why I collect books. Do you know what I mean? Go back to the original source. I've got a funny video I'm going to show you, right? Okay, so absolutely funny in a sec. I tell you what, we do that. That's done. So that can be ticked. Forbidden that. Okay. Peter Lavender talks about the Real Society and a bit about Maria Orsic. But again, I'll show you some other videos as well where there is just excuse my French, a clusterfuck of misinformation about this subject. Is people are twisting things. And to be honest with you, there are books, like for instance that one here, that just expands it. Now they're adding Nikola Tesla into the equation, where it was never mentioned that in the original publication. Do you know what I mean? It's because we've got so many books and websites in regards of the Real Society, Maria Orsic, it all gets twisted around. And there's another guy called what's his name, Robert Speer. God, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I've got to be careful what I say, because his community are just like the chemtrail community. If you go against anything they say, like, well, actually not, I don't really agree with you on that aspect. They will come at you like a pack of hyenas and become very aggressive and literally dox you and literally just cause you shit. It's, very, very bad community. So, but we've got a good community here. Remember, guys, absolutely. But anyway, let's get to something really interesting, because I'm going to show you something now. Peter Lavender, I'd quite like to go on the show. He is a perfect historian. He's gone into the archives and found amazing stuff on, especially Nazi Germany. So I'm going to bring this one up now. Again, link is in description. Fantastic YouTube channel. I don't think they're still going now. Forum Borealis. I had Joseph P. Farrell on there and Peter Lavender. I think my cat wants to go out. Yeah, he does. He's not there. Okay, tell you what we got here first. Yeah, Grok is okay. It can be a bit quite snarky, mate, and like in some cases it can be to a certain degree. Let's have a look. I'm just going up here. Yeah, it can do. Yeah, it's for fact checking, but for me, it's finding like. But in terms of what I put in there, where was the first mention of Maria Orsic? It actually kind of lied to me. It says, well, no, actually, it's saying I should backtrack on that one. It says, well, these conspiracy theories, these websites say that the Maria Orsic originated from this publication, and then I checked the publication, and there's no mention of it. So I understand that sort of aspect, Sadie. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what I'm going to do now is play this. Let's go through. Oh, what should we do first? What should we do first? Let's go through. Let's go through the Vril Society on here because he does mention it in here, and then we go to the Gesellschaft, and then he talks about Maria Orsic. Okay, so let's go to. Is it that one there? Oh, 501. Okay, cool. Okay, so here is Peter Lavender. I would love to get him on the show. Absolutely. He's a fountain of knowledge. And this is a video called The Rise of the Nazi Cult in a YouTube channel called Forum Borealis, which links are in description.
Zone of Ariosophian. You mentioned New Templar Order and the Tula. They are both very well known. But what about the so-called Real Society?
Yeah, the difficulty I have with reports on the Vril Society is that there's very little documentation on it, if at all any. There are references to it by other people, but there's no definitive paper trail for this society. Vril, of course, was based on a novel by Bulwer Lytton called Vril.
An Englishman, even.
An Englishman, yeah. Speaking about the coming race, the power of the coming race, which is something that, of course, appealed to German nationalists. The idea that there's a new race coming, which is going to be a race of supermen. And Vril was this power. Of course, it's based on the Sanskrit term for vir, which is the male power in general, potency, you might say. It's the source for many European and other words and around the world. And even I lived in Malaysia for a while, and virya was a common term meaning manliness or manhood. So the idea of Vril is sort of this male potency, and it was a subject of a novel. So I'm not 100% certain that a real Vril society actually existed per se, because I've not seen enough documentation to prove it.
Okay.
Tula, we know.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Vril, it was brought up in a book by Trevor Ravenscroft called The Spear of Destiny. The problem with that book is there's a lot of undocumented source material in there, a lot that I 100% do not believe. I do not believe that Hitler was attending seances and taking peyote, for instance. I don't see any of that as being true.
I wish. I think things would be different.
Oh yeah, I think it would have been. Yeah, Hitler as a hippie. Can't you see that? But then we have Paul and Bergier, right? Morning of the Magicians.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the Morning of the Magicians, all right?
Which make kind of similar claims. So, in absence of any documentation, I don't feel competent enough to talk about the Vril Society, quite frankly.
Okay, so it may be a meme.
Yes.
All. Yeah. But isn't the real concept also tied to the hollow earth, inner earth concept?
Oh, sure. And it goes back also to the what's his name? Just went right out of my head. War of the Worlds. The man who wrote Time Machine. Wells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wells also was thinking along the same idea. There was a hollow earth. There were people living underneath the earth, and of course, the hollow earth was associated with Admiral Byrd, claiming that he had seen an opening in the Arctic circle that led to a land of lushness of green trees and all the rest of it.
Yeah, but I'm getting to how this was connected to the Nazi. Wasn't it a part of the Nazi mythos?
Oh, sure. It was. The hollow earth was. The world ice theory was also one of those ideas that was embraced. But when we're talking about the Nazis in this context, I don't think Hitler per se was very much a part of this. This was Himmler.
Right.
And
Yeah, we could do an episode on him, though. Absolutely, he was the man into the occult. But going back to what Peter Levender actually says, that the fact there is such a lack of documentation in terms of the Vril Society, and what I've gone through today has showed you, obviously, there are mentions, publications, very, very small publications that came out talking about Vril, but whether or not it's actually a society. But you got to think there were many, many sort of wacky sort of conspiracy esoteric sort of circles back in Germany, especially between World War I and World War II. So again, it's just, I would agree with Peter Levender on this one. Is just there is such a lack of evidence to really support the Vril Society, but Vril does get mentioned. Like I said, the cosmic primal force, rebirth of Atlantis, and Woody Lie's quote as well. But again, it mentions the coming race by Edward Buell Lighton's book, which is a science fiction book. Okay, so I just want to get that out of the way first. He mentions about Maria Orsic. What's that timestamp?
About Maria Orsic.
yeah, there's been a bit about Maria Orsic lately. She's been the focus of some new studies just in the last few years. Maria Orsic, yes, is one of those people who was an influence, but then you have others who might have been even closer. There was a woman who worked, whose name escapes me at the moment. It may come back to me. She was involved with a German secret society called the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis.
Right.
Which was initially a German organization founded by a Theodor Reuss and a Karl Kellner. They were mystics. They were sort of Masonic, a kind of quasi-Masonic organization. And the people who belonged to that organization included men and women. When Aleister Crowley, the very famous English magician, became involved with the OTO and essentially took it over, there were those within the Ordo Templi Orientis who felt that Hitler's message would be embraced by Adolf Hitler, and they tried to form an alliance between Crowley in England and Hitler in Germany. So there were interfaith, there were go-betweens. One of them was a woman in the OTO who was very taken with Crowley and at the same time very taken with Hitler, who was trying to form an alliance between the two.
Yeah, I too have forgotten her name, but I know of whom you speak. But do we have any evidence that Hitler even knew who Crowley was?
Well, it's tenuous at best. What we do...
Well, that's quite interesting. Well, I might do like a sort of semi-breakdown on that video because it's immensely fascinating. Like I said, Peter Levender is a fountain of knowledge in terms of going through the documentation on the Nazi Germany. I met Anthony J. Hilder, mate, and he was mostly talking about 9/11 and stuff like that at a conference. So yeah, I'll try to Rebecca get in. Not Peter Levender on the show. Absolutely, I think it's definitely worth mentioning. Now he mentions the OTO Society, which is so the OTO Society was commonly referred to the Ordo Temple Orientis, often translated to the Order of the Temple of the East or Temple of the Oriental Temples. No, Orders of the Oriental Templar, and this was an international organization focused on occultism, esotericism, and philosophy and religious themes. I'm going to do a proper breakdown on that because it was a real society. There was another society back in the early 19th century called the Pan-Babylonian Society. So those two, I think I'm going to do a deep dive on because, again, like I said, guys, you know, not ruling out the Vril Society, but there is very much a lack of evidence to prove that actually existed, but it does get brought up, okay? But again, it's kind of like this Scientology sort of thing is really based upon something that's actually science fiction. But again, you had, like I said, you had all these crazy sort of cult organizations back in the early 19th century, late 19th century, sorry, earliest 20th century. So I think it's worth going through. So yes, the OTO was a real society. I'm just use Grok for this one, just to quickly go through. So the early 20th century, around 1902 to 1906 in Germany, with roots with Masonic high degree systems and early esoteric traditions. Obviously, Aleister Crowley was a part of that. Did I bring up with Hidden? I'm not too sure about that. So also mentions about Book of the Law. Again, I think it's worth doing a proper episode on that. So again, there was a real society based in Germany at that time, in the early 20th century. Fantastic. Right. Okay. What else have I got? Oh, he mentions the Tula Society, the Tula Gesellschaft. Let's just go through that just very, very quickly. Very quickly, because that was a real organization that was pretty much was the birth of the Nazi Party, which again, the Tula Society was in correlation with the Vril Society, okay? And a lot of I would say people like H.O. Schumann, who was allegedly part of the Tula Society, was a funder and a financier for the Vril Society. And Peter Levenda actually talks about it here.
Kiel everywhere. So you had this the danger that the country would go communist, and out of this cauldron of upheaval and chaos arose two organizations that I focus upon in my work. The first, of course, was the Tula Gesellschaft. The Tula Gesellschaft was an occult society. It was a secret society, and if you can imagine, in the upheaval in the immediate post-war period in Munich, that people would find the time to get together and discuss occultism. It's astonishing, but there you go. And they met in the Four Seasons Hotel, and it was run by a man called Sabattendorf, Baron Sabattendorf. And
no, that's fine, Nathan. Welcome back, mate. Welcome back.
He wrote a book later called Before Hitler Came, which was about his role in both the Tula Gesellschaft and in helping to formulate the ideology and
it looks like he would molest your daughter.
Policies of the Nazi Party, which met in the same hotel and which shared some of the same membership. Hitler was sent to spy on the Nazi Party, the German Workers' Party, I should say.
On behalf of who?
On behalf of a cabal of German officers who had, of course, lost the war, and they were now trying to see what they could do to hold the country together and root out any communist or socialist elements. So he worked for Captain Meyer. Captain Meyer, ironically, later became arrested by Hitler and thrown into jail. But that's another story.
That's karma, I guess.
That's karma. Yeah.
Today, we live in
I think that gets brought up, Science Evidence Fringe, I think.
a time where the collective paradigm is very conformist. But back in this day, it was street fights between ideological groups, and there was even occultists marching in the streets in Germany. And before the war, and before the Nazis killed off the competition, there was a lot of esoteric, mystical thought patterns in Germany. And you mentioned your book on Holy Alliance. Very good reading. We really recommend it. It's in the line with books such as Nicholas Goodrick Clarke's, who unfortunately has passed away now. And it focuses on this aspect that we are dealing with now. Now, would you elaborate a little on these different strains? So who else would you say was influential?
Well, there's two names that always come up. They come up in Dr. Goodrick Clarke's books. I'm quite sad that he passed away so before his time, so young. He and I collaborated indirectly on a number of documentaries and things of that nature. So it was a very great loss to me. But two names come up, Guido von List and Lance von Liebenfels.
There you go, Science.
These are two of the major thinkers behind the growth of Nazi ideology. In fact, Lance von Liebenfels was a direct connection to Adolf Hitler. Von Liebenfels had an operation he called the Order of New Templars. He was Austrian. He was based in Austria, not far from Linz, where Hitler was living at the time, where his mother died. And von Liebenfels had been a Catholic priest. He had studied foreign languages, Oriental languages, as they called it in those days. He was an expert in that, but somehow he ran afoul of the church, left it, and created his own mystical fraternity, the Order of the New Templars. There are photographs of von Liebenfels in a white tunic with a red cross emblazoned on it in the style of the Knights Templar. He had a magazine called Ostara, and this magazine contained articles on occultism, esotericism of various kinds, but it was also very racially slanted. The magazine Ostara talked about the differences in spirituality between different races. And of course, the Aryan race was superior, the Semitic race was inferior, and it contained cartoons depicting Jewish people in a very blatantly racist way, but mixed in with a lot of occultism. He was based in Vienna at the time when Hitler himself was living in an impoverished state in Vienna. He was applying to the Art Academy in Vienna. He was rejected several times. He was very disillusioned. This is before World War I had begun. And he was reading Ostara cover to cover in those days. And he went and visited Lanz von Liebenfels in his office in Vienna to discuss with him some of the issues, some of the themes that he was writing about in his magazine. And von Liebenfels felt sorry for him, gave him some money, some car fare home, and a few free copies of the magazine. He recounted that in his own autobiographical testament. So we have a young Adolf Hitler who is very moved by Wagner and Wagnerian opera on the one hand, by the Ring cycle, which is very symbolic, heavily laden with symbolism, with a Christian veneer, but really going back to a pagan idea of the Grail and the Ring, and a sort of Tolkien-esque kind of a situation back in those days. Very moved.
Yeah. I'll leave it there for Peter Lavender. I'd love to get him on the show. But what's actually quite interesting, believe it or not, me and the missus actually watched a World War II documentary. I think it was on Netflix. It was called Nuremberg on Trial. And I actually went through the history of Hitler from beginning to end. Misses out everything that what you say there, Science Evidence Fringe. I can't pronounce their names. But yeah, completely misses that out. It misses out the Taller Society, and it only showed the mainstream side, not really the occult side. It mentions like the German Workers' Party, but obviously I know what you're talking about there, but obviously the occult societies and esotericism left it out completely. But this is Netflix we're dealing with here, so obviously they're going to go for the more mainstream sort of side. But yeah. It's immensely fascinating. Is what I find interesting about the Second World War. I mean, I find the World War interesting anyways, but obviously both sides, is that the Germans really applied the esoteric, occult aspect to their philosophy. It's just wild, man. It's just wild that they actually did something like that. And that kind of links into like the German flying saucers. I know it's all stories and it could be like a lot of made up stuff, but they really put that into practice when you really boil down to it. And Science Evidence Fringe, you probably know more than I do on that sort of secret society sort of side. So yeah, it's immensely fascinating. Let me contact Peter Lavender. I'd love to get him on the show, and Joseph P. Farrell. Speaking of Joseph P. Farrell, I'm going to play a video right here. Don't get triggered by this, okay? Because where is it to? There it is there, okay. So have anyone heard of Tino Struckmann by any chance? So Tino Struckmann is a German historian who's done amazing research into World War II, World War I. Like, for instance, I thought World War I was only based in the trenches, and it turned out it actually wasn't. And he's got loads of interviews with Joseph P. Farrell right here. And it mentions Royal Society and Maria Orsic, or Orschitsch, as one would say. The thing is with Tino, he's actually gone into the archive. I mean, his whole YouTube channel, he's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of views, and he's gone deep into the archive in the German documentation of World War II. and he's done a video on the Anu-Neb. So the Anu-Neb was set out to go to Tibet to find the origins of the German race, obviously the Aryans, because a lot of the German philosophy is actually based upon Hindu religion. So they went into Tibet, and you see videos of like the Germans like measuring like the Tibetan skulls, and it is really like really odd. But it was a real society that actually did that. So he went into the archive and trying to find information about Vril society and Maria Orsic. So here we go. I'm just going to play. It's just a very short extract on this. Yeah, Joseph P. Farrell is brilliant, mate. He is. He's one of my favorites. I really want to harken back to his book. He's got 45 books, mate. I was looking it through earlier about Roswell. What actually crashed at Roswell was actually German technology, and my Roswell crashed. What I thought was actually German technology. I didn't really do any. I should have really went through his book properly, so I might do a recap on that. But I know Joseph P. Farrell. I know he does not believe in Haunebu flying saucers. The Germans did develop anti-gravity. They did, and that was called Die Glocke, the Bell Project. And I firmly believe that, because I would agree with Joseph P. Farrell that you can actually back engineer this whole device itself through actual technical means and scientific means. Again, I'll have to do a recap on the Bell Project. It's immensely fascinating. We actually have documentations. I believe or not, we actually have documentations to actually prove they were working on some sort of device. So here we go. Here's just a very small extract on Joseph P. Farrell's interview. Here we go.
And because I'm researching for the documentary, I'm just trying to break down what the Anu-Neb was doing. You go to the Vril and you go to Maria.
Okay.
Transcripts, is that those transcripts, which I'd been looking for decades, and I could never find them.
Oh.
Financial skullduggery on a very high.
All links are in descriptions.
Shocking.
How shocking.
Orsic was this.
It was more make-believe, it's just incredible to me.
But the movie about him says.
Oh, yeah, the movies, which were totally objective.
All right, Dan. Yeah, nice to see you, man. Well, it's nice to see you, and hopefully you see you soon, man, and have a good weekend. All the best.
I mean, did I tell you what I found out about looking into Maria Orsic and the Vril Society?
No.
Now, we have always post-war, we believe that Maria Orsic was this gorgeous long-haired woman, along with her other gorgeous long-haired friends, used to long-haired. I'm all in favor of the world being run by gorgeous long-haired women. Okay, come on. I'm good with that. But now you start looking through the archives, you start looking through all the tests from the war, you start looking at the documents, and because I'm researching for the documentary, I'm just trying to break down what the Anu-Neb was doing. You go to the Vril and you go to Maria Orsic, and you look through all the documents, and then you run into a really big problem. Now, I have personally met women who believe that they are the reincarnation of Maria Orsic. My first thing I did was I asked them, what did you tell Dr. Kamla? But this is so ingrained that you have books written about Maria Orsic and by Maria Orsic. There's a problem with this.
She doesn't exist.
No, she never existed. She wasn't born.
I know.
All the photos are doctored. One of the photos of her are actually a picture of Hitler with a woman's head and hair. I mean, for the love of Christ. The Vril Society, I can't find, it's not infeasible that they existed, but
so we have a transgender
there are no contemporary papers. They existed. And I mean, there's no papers from the war that mentioned her or the Vril Society or before that. And there was a lot of kooky organizations that have been mentioned. They were not one of them. They weren't mentioned until, I think, the late 70s.
The only person that I know of from that time period that mentioned Vril was Vili Lai.
So that was the rocket scientist that I mentioned with that quote.
The rocket scientist.
Oh, yes.
But that's all he does, is he mentions it. And there's one publication by a so-called Vril Society that came out, I think, in Berlin in 1936. And again, it's a small little publication.
So that publication there is what I showed you, called the Vril, the Cosmic Primal Force, Rebirth of Atlantis, where it actually came out in 1930. But again, like you said, a very, very small publication. It's about 25 pages long.
And that's
there,
it.
There was a lot of little weird societies.
There were gobs of little weird societies.
But it's just, and I would, yes, it was like, yes, yes, Maria Orsic's photo was doctored. It was a picture of Hitler where this woman's face was put on and then a wig, and she makes Hitler look very hot, and that's really scary, and really freaky. Didn't do anything for the chest, never mind. And you look at some of the other photos of her with the long hair. Now, I shoot pictures and video all the time. That's not a photo taken in the 30s.
No.
It's of a naked, long-haired woman that's supposed to be advising. No. If it was, Hitler would have burned it if she was important. There's none of the files, and even her birth certificate of where she was supposed to be born. None. I mean, maybe she could have been born on a different name, fine. But then she would still have been known as her in the circles of the 30s, where she was supposed to have made a difference, where she didn't.
Look, that whole Vril Orsic thing, it just drives me nuts. You know, I've been battling this, you know.
I would agree with Joseph on that one. Someone who's done extensive research into it, and then you go on the internet and it's like, yeah, you're battling here. It's like, look, people's got their own belief systems, but again, I'm basing my research on publications, and there is nothing at all to really back anything up.
I still have people out there who think that I think the Nazis created Hanabu with these field propulsion saucers with upside down Panther turrets.
Oh yes. They don't weigh much. They can fly.
I will.
And I'm like, okay, how do you load an anti-tank gun upside down? I mean, it's just
rotate the barrel. Come on, where's your imagination?
And you know, one of my publishers just sent me a copy of his book, all about Hanabu, and I'm supposed to just drop everything and say, "Oh, you proved the case." I just, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't go there.
I mean, the Russians made a T-26 fly, barely. Well, sort of. It flew fast and like,
I mean, okay, for one thing, why are you going to put a Panther turret on your super secret field propulsion flying saucer? Use a King Tiger turret, for crying out loud. Go all the way.
Gee, doesn't it come? I mean, if you get a flying saucer, doesn't it come with a ray gun? I mean, come on.
I know.
So look, Tino Struckman has done his research. He says he cannot find absolutely nothing in terms of Vril Society, even Maria Orsic. Joseph P. Farrell, he's written so many books. He's gone into absolute detail. It's immense research he has done. And through someone who's believed in Hanabu and Maria Orsic and, you know, all that sort of concepts years ago, and then I started to do actual research, and my whole sort of equation changed a lot on this conspiracy. And I do not believe that Vril and Hanabu flying saucers, they would have used it during the war if they perfected it in 1938. They even had a time machine apparently in 1920s. But I would agree with Joseph P. Farrell, and I know for a fact he won't go on a podcast if someone's talking about, you know, if they actually believed in Hanabu Vril flying saucers, because it mentions it in detail in his books. So again, that's just two historians here that I cannot just dismiss, really. But again, I'm just basing my research on publications here. Okay. But yeah, I would love to get what Rebecca's saying here. Get them on the show. Absolutely. 100%. But as I'm going through the internet, you start to notice something. People kind of get a bit obsessed with Maria Orsic. And I'm going to show you a video right now. I'm actually going to give this guy a shout out, to be honest with you. Because it goes a bit too far to a certain degree, okay? How people get too obsessed with Maria Orsic because she's beautiful, and I don't know whether or not this guy is sexually attracted to her. I don't know, okay? I'm going to bring something up now that came across, and I do listen to it. It's just a bit of fun, really. Okay, so this is called Maria Orsic Ritual, and this guy takes it way too seriously. You ready? You ready? Wait for it.
And remember, recover, return, my brothers and sisters. And we're coming to you tonight. And by request of Maria, she asked me to read a little more every night from The Mysteries, The Worship of Love, Miguel Serrano.
Okay, well, first things first. Okay, what can I say? It has a Royal Society poster. It has is that a pillow with Maria Orsic's face on it? If you keep your eyes shut and you listen to him, no offense, he kind of sounds queer a little bit. Great quality microphone, I have to admit, very, very clear. But as I'm watching these videos that he puts out nearly on a daily basis, he is absolutely, I think he's a bit autistic, but he is absolutely obsessed with Maria Orsic beyond belief. And this is what I keep on seeing. It's mostly from the male demographic who's just like literally sexually obsessed by Maria Orsic, even though in my equation that she does not exist. It's taking the things a bit too far. Listen.
She wanted me to start here. 2 cords of light lowered her coffin into the earth.
Link in description.
And the coffin was open, so I could see her face one last time. From beyond sleeping petals.
Do you think this guy has actually had a girlfriend? I'm no offense, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I guarantee this guy has never stimulated a woman. Couldn't even find the clit on a woman, the on button. I'm going to be honest with you. Is that a pillow with Maria Orsic's face on it? I want one. Jesus. Is that a towel on his head? I don't know what it is.
Through the wedding veil and the golden curls, the light she kept in this land watched me, and this light gave itself to me as a hand for the bed chamber of my blood, as fingers for the ordering of her heartbeats, fingers of light. But I wanted to leave when I heard her voice from far away or from within myself.
Hi, Puck Elf. Nice to see you.
I heard her saying to me, "Do not leave me alone. The wedding is near." Then,
in some videos, he actually does the Hi Hitler salute, by the way.
With no one, without trees, without her mother, alone, with the shadow of light, in the full sun of midday, I felt we were married at the edge of her tomb. Yes, that blood I had given her just a little earlier before her death.
Hold on, I can mimic that. Hold on.
To resurrect her, and that I had murdered her because it was red blood for a pallid young woman. That blood was still alive in her, alive as light, as seed.
Maria.
Because it was my blood.
More gayer, Nick, more gayer.
Flowing through her like a polishing cloth. My blood whose time has still not come. And she was returning my blood to me.
Maria.
Here is love. Here is the marriage.
Don't take the
She
piss, it's my brother.
returns it as heat, as the reminder,
I feel spiritually awakened. I feel like a sexless moron who literally couldn't find the on button. I'm talking about women here.
remainder,
Sorry.
of energy that I felt passing
It's not funny. It's
from her
take this
death
seriously.
into my life, from her body to my essence. And this
I thought I was going to say ass then.
is why I have said that she was not buried in the earth, but in my soul. Because together with returning my living blood, she also gave me the light of her dead blood.
We are one of the same. Oh, one more minute.
Something of her eternity belongs to me. The rites of marriage were fulfilled in the obscurity of the midday sun.
Right, babe.
They were fulfilled in the darkness of the midday sun.
You're welcome.
On the back of the light there where he...
I have no idea what this guy is saying, but I love the quality of the voice. Do you know what I might do? I might just do like a follow-up on this guy because he uploads pretty much every day. Link is in description, but I want that pillow. It must be extremely stained, but what he's got the black sun symbol, he's got some Burks, he's got a swastika right there, the real symbol, and this is the thing that with people sort of take this conspiracy a bit too seriously. Do you know what I mean, mate? Do you know what I mean? It's I am the Messiah. This is it. God, I'm fucking not. Jesus Christ. Oh, but do you see what I mean? So a bit of fun there. But I came across that and I listened to it and I go, this guy's like taking it way too seriously, way too seriously. So at least can have a bit of fun now. So what else have I got? Not that again. I think that's it. I think that's it for the deep dive of Maria Orsic. Yeah, I don't know what to say. If you want to see that guy, link is in description. Honestly, when I first watched... No, I don't say anything. Right, we move on from that. Okay. But again, we can have a little bit of a laugh. We'll do a follow-up on Maria Orsic Ritual. Give us a subscribe and say that... No, don't say that Alien Alex said anything because I don't want any sort of attention to me. So... But yeah, I think he's too obsessed with Maria Orsic. Way too obsessed. And it's quite sad, really, when you look at it. Sometimes you just need a touch of a woman. But again, it's a social skill, isn't it? You need to socialize properly to actually, fulfill the dream of actually finding a woman. But if you're doing that, yeah, good luck to you. Okay. Right. Have I got anything else to mention about Maria Orsic or anything else? I think that is it for Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. Did that make any sense? Okay. Did that make any sense? I was supposed to go back to the actual photograph itself. So again, let's go back to that photograph. Just a couple. I've got a couple more things to talk about, guys. We'll come to like an hour and a half because I've got X to go through and all that. Just quickly, harkening back the fact that this is pretty much the same photo. And is that, well, this from the 19... It kind of looks like from the 1940s. It looks like the hairstyle. But 1940s style that had like shorter hair, I think, maybe. Not too sure. But again, I thought I'll just pull it out there and see what you guys think. Me, personally, I don't believe Maria Orsic is real. because the lack of evidence. But if you think it's real, that's absolutely fine. But again, there's some people like that guy I just showed you takes it a bit too seriously, and it just kind of pushes me away a little bit. But again, it's just like the lack of evidence behind it. So I hope that was a bit educational for you guys. Something to think about. So yeah, but we've all got different opinions, and that's what makes us unique. Because if we all thought the same, it'd be bloody boring, isn't it? You know what I mean? Oh dear, the things he says, mate, that is like not even the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to be honest with you. So right, what have I got here? Let's bring up X. I've got a few stuff on X to talk about. So everyone is still banging on about bloody disclosure. Disclosure is going to happen soon, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's just around the corner, because Trump mentioned it. The more I start to research, and no, not research, the more I tend to think about it. I think, like, process things now, and I'm going, do you know what? It's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. I think at this point, it's yeah. For me, it's like a very I think a lot of empty promises. Like I said, if the documents are going to be released, it's going to all be redacted. It's probably the stories that we've heard many, many times before. Oh God, for Christ's sake. So yeah, it's just that's just my personal opinion on that. So I'm not getting my hopes up at all. So it degrades every day that people mention about it. But I have to admit, right, the mainstream media are starting to talk about it, maybe because it's trends. Well, yeah, I think trends plays a lot into it. I'm going to be honest with you. But I think nothing's going to come out of that. So here we go. This is quite interesting. Check this out. So let's move on to some like UFO stuff. So Houston, Texas, a man hiking through the dense terrain encountered a silent black sphere that appeared directly in his path. And then he began following him. He managed to record it for a brief clip before stopping the camera and getting out of there. Well, whatever it was, it happened right in front of the lens. Take a look. And I guess the former, but what do you think? Real or fake and gay? Let's have a look. Check this out. Now, one would go, oh, it's AI. Right, I understand. It's a lot of AI bollocks that comes with. Well, we'll get to the page in a minute. That shows you the amount of AI crap that comes in ufology at the moment. But I'm not too sure on this one, guys. What do you reckon? It's good. It's like a potato camera once again. I thought that some sort of balloon. Yeah. Thing is, AI, it's so good now. Good point, Puck Elf. Yeah, reflections are not really changing. You would have think the vegetation around it, the object, would be reflective, but you don't really see that. Let's have a little look. Oh, sorry, guys, a little bit bigger for you. Hold on, let's go back a bit. Let's go back. Let's have a look at this one more time. Because with the sun reflecting off it, it will give off different mirror effect. Like Puck Elf was saying, you would normally see reflections in the object itself. Because you've got quite a vast terrain here when you look at it. You know, got a lot of vegetation. Why is it a bloody potato camera once again? I thought we got bloody 4K cameras on our phones now. Yeah, I would agree with Puck Elf on that one. And I think Moody as well. Baby Yoda pod, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's most likely AI. It's pretty good, though, if it is. I can't confirm it, but... you would see reflections on that. So yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. So yeah, that was from UAP Reporting Center. So yeah, this guy feeds pigeons on a daily basis. Look what happens. It reminds me of Home Alone 2 with the woman. He must get covered in bird shit. Right at the end. Pigeon right at the end. Oh, mate. Do you believe Maria Orsic's role? Ask that pigeon. I don't know why I saved that. I don't know why. I tell you what's really good. Oddly Interesting is a pretty good page to watch on X. Oh, this was funny. I missed the what was it called again? I got it written here. Hold on. Oh yeah, the State of Union. That's it, the SOTU. So I missed the State of Union. Where are the aliens announcement? My God, everyone on X was absolutely gasping to the fact that Trump was going to mention something about aliens. And I said to myself, nothing's going to be mentioned whatsoever. I think it's just either just doing it for popularity. It could be stroking one's ego. It could be just false promises. But there seems to be a build-up. But I would say one thing, and one thing only: theater. That's what it is. This whole Trump giving us disclosure and people getting the hypes up is literally pure theater. That's just my personal opinion. Oh, we got Stephen Greer. Hello, Stephen. Let's do this. What are we saying? Oh, let's read the description first. So Dr. Stephen Greer says draft. Oh my God, the speech thing. Check this out. So again, when he says, Stephen Greer says he's drafted presidents, or was that the right word? Briefed presidents, apologize, briefed presidents. It just means sending them emails. All right.
I know that you have essentially written a speech for the president to deliver if he decides to do this. I want to quote just the first line: "My fellow Americans and all citizens of Earth, it has come to our attention that extraterrestrial civilizations of great technological advancement have been visiting Earth for some time." Could you see President Trump being the first president to step to the podium and deliver a speech like that?
I do, and apparently his daughter-in-law believes so as well. And I think the reason for that is that there are so many pressures about this subject coming out in the next few months that delaying it much longer would not be proper. And I've advised in a briefing we did for the White House that they do not want to be behind the curve on this. They want to not have it come out through other countries or in some other way, asymmetrically, let's say, and they want to be ahead of this. So I think it looks like it is picking up steam. And of course, what actually gets decided by the president, I'm not privy to per se, not directly, but I do think this is coming on a fast track right now.
I guarantee if nothing happens, it's going to screw ufology even worse. Absolutely even worse, because I think everyone's got so much hype, so much trust in what's going to be released. But again, it's probably going to be like redacted files, stories we heard a million times. Again, if you go to the Condine report, actually going to bring up on Tuesday, that the UK actually released their UFO files. It mentions that the phenomena is real, but that's it. It doesn't really go into specific details of what, crash retrievals, alien encounters, etc. I think at this moment, it's too much hype. And like I said, if you've been in ufology for a long period of time, you can see there's a big hype and it gets bashed right down to the ground. I can just see it happening. People are just going to get let down again. And it's the same for the 2027. Something big is going to happen in 2027. It's like nothing is going to happen. It's going to be the same routine. Yeah, we're going to get some sightings. That's going to be odd. But really, for the whole scenario, really, it's just going to be a repeat of a massive disappointment. That's just my prediction. Could be wrong on that one. I might eat my words later on. But again, it's people are starting to catch on at the fact that there's a lot of false promises coming out. and it's not doing ufology any good. I'm just going to be honest with you. So again, it could be a distraction. What Paul Robertson is saying now with the Epstein files. Do you know what? My nan was talking about the Epstein files. She goes, "Oh, isn't it bad what Prince Andrew's doing?" I said, "Man, Prince Andrew's just the tip of the iceberg." I says, "You got child sacrifice, you got bloody blood ritual, you got." I can mention things, but I don't get banned on YouTube or get censored. You know what I mean? It's like you have no idea. It's like, I know he's done bad shit. What Prince Andrew has done. It's like, look over here, quickly. It's always in the bloody papers, Prince Andrew, and yeah, he should be banged up, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. I want to know all the people that's done all the bad shit. I mean, you know what words I can't say on YouTube. Oh, Sadie, look, you're making it on Alien Addict. Yay. This is immensely fascinating. I might do that on Hidden Underbelly show. I might talk about it briefly. Yeah, I could do just briefly on Tuesday. The Soul Experiment, the Blue Alien. This is crazy, man. I tell you what, I forgot what actually happened on that one. Yeah, there was an experiment that happened with a group of people. I can't remember. I might have got this wrong. They were doing this sort of seance, and they had a film camera inside. No, I don't think that's it. That was a paranormal thing. I can't remember. I remember seeing this, and I remember there's like these film footage of these like reptilians, aliens, like we're seeing here. And I really want to talk about it. It's called the Soul Experiment. I tell you what, let me put this in grok. Unless anyone can actually do me a catch up on that one. That's not AI. That's from 1998, buddy. That is really interesting case here. Right, grok. Here we go. Soul Experiment. Let's have a look. So the Soul Experiment was often called the Soul Experiment or Soul Afterlife Experiment, was a 5-year investigation from 1993 to 1998 conducted in the village of Seoul, Norfolk, England. It aims to gather scientific evidence of life after death through physical mediumship and paranormal phenomena. A small group of researchers and mediums, primarily mediums Diana and Alan Barnett, along with researchers and sitters, held hundreds of seances in darkened basement rooms with a 17th century farmhouse. They claim that the collaboration with spirit team entities from the afterlife and other dimensions to produce various phenomena. So yeah, I tell you what, we'll do a follow up on that. Oh yeah, they had a documentary in 2011. Yeah, I remember seeing that years ago. That was gone back a long time ago, 2011. So we'll do a follow up on that. But yeah, thanks Sadie for that one. That's that's it, an open film. They had the film inside this case, and they actually went to Kodak, and they had it developed, and it showed all this. It's immensely fascinating. I think it's one of the best paranormal investigations experiments, I should say, to date, and this is going back in the 90s, one of my favorite time periods. So yeah, Sadie, thank you so much on that one, the Soul Experiment. So yeah, we'll check that out. We've got the Blue Alien in there. It's awesome. So what else we've got here? CNN with 3 choices of experts. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that. I think that's it for that one. Oh yeah, check this out. This is a dog walks on to a jiu-jitsu sort of thing. Look. That's his owner, by the way. Oh, bless. Oh, he picks up the dog. Look, dog's like, get me out of here, mate. One more time. Oh, bless. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. All right, what's next? What's next? Come up to past now. What's that noise? I mean, so if you're not too aware, there is a phenomenon in Bristol where I live. I said I live in Bristol many times, called the Bristol Hum. Not too sure if I think it's a bit louder than expected, but it's like this humming noise. But this is a bit more of a high pitched noise. But check this out. Movie. Oh, Jesus. That's coming from my headphones and that's driving me mental. So, yeah, God knows what that is about. So, what is that noise? Witnessing 3 a.m. There was no wind, no trains, no planes near me. The highway with no traffic. It came from the sky. So, yeah, there's something called the Bristol Hum. Well, I should probably do a recap on that. So, Chris Blood, so on I can go. I think that's it for X. So, I've got one more thing to bring up, which is part of the show. And it's to do with this right here, okay? I'm going to butcher this name. So, in the thumbnail, hold on, bring it up. The left-hand side, the Azerbaijan UFO, okay? No one really knows about this, right? So, in my book here, called Man-Made UFOs from 1994 to 19... I can't read it properly. Yeah, Man-Made UFOs from 1944 to 1994, 50 years of suppression. And in here, it has this, okay? Hold on. Oh, no. So, yeah, it mentions this right here. So this is like a spacecraft. Look at this, man. It could be real, man. Look at that. Got a man sitting there and with his arms to his side and all that shit. Right, let's read this. So, hold on a minute. Let's bring it up full screen. No, not me. There we go. So it says here, 2 photographs of alleged anti-gravity craft photographed in the Caucasus Mountains in Azerbaijan, whatever it's called, sometime around 1983. Speculation about the craft includes that it was part of a long secret Soviet space program, a probe of a science fiction movie, or a early anti-gravity craft, possibly from World War II or before. Note the similar look of this craft to the lunar module used for the Apollo mission to the moon. If this was a prop for a science fiction movie, then why mask the man's face? And the photographer or origin of the photo remains unknown. So we got that. Very grainy photograph, right? Okay. All right, we've got these ones here. All right, check this out. Check it. Look at this. More photographs and drawings of the oddball Russian UFO. Though the few UFO magazines that have been printed, these photos have claimed that is an extraterrestrial vehicle. It is clearly a man-made craft. So that's in the book. But then I came across this magazine here. UFO Magazine, The Truth Is Out There from August 2001. Pilots and UFOs, a defined risk to air safety. Actually mentions the word UAP in here. I think John Scott actually mentioned that as well. That is obviously a very old term. And actually has this in here. Check this out. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Let's have a look at these photographs right here. Look, it's clearly a movie prop. Look. Look at that. So you can see it's pretty much a prop, isn't it? But in that book that came out in the 90s, obviously 1995 that book came out, it mentions that it could possibly be an anti-gravity craft. But it says here, this was carried out by several parts in the Caucasus Mountain and assembled there. The object was positioned high in the mountains for location filming. One of the photographers showed a man standing on top of the ramp and a Georgian who looked after the decorations until the film started. Unfortunately, the then Polish Minister Culture interrupted the making of the film in 1977. The model was dismantled and carried back to Poland. A few years later, it was destroyed. The original UFO story, empowered by Russian ufologist. That's the name of him, allegedly. It's that word there I can't pronounce. It's obviously Russian. There is therefore nonsense. We will never know, however, if this was actual purposeful description, a genuine mistake, or a deliberate hoax. I am deliberate. Okay, you understand what I'm saying. It looks like it's a movie prop, doesn't it? When you look at it, okay. Not bad though, isn't it? Not bad. So yeah, that's an extraterrestrial craft right there. I just noticed 5 people left the stream. I don't bloody blame you, mate. But there you go. There we go. You can see it's just a prop, okay, and not an anti-gravity craft. We talked about that before. I tell you what, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. I saw that. Hello, are you a UFO? It's just like my cat, doesn't it? Right. Secondly, I'd like to do a recap on the Gulf Breeze sighting. This was obviously mentioned. I saw when I saw the Gulf Breeze photo, I knew it was a hoax. I'd like to do a recap on that. So I have the book here. I do have the book here. I'll bring it out in due course next time. That's a real anti-gravity craft, otherwise known as the Millennium Falcon. Just jokes for shits and giggles. This keeps popping up. Do my bloody tits in, mate. Hold on. Kecksburg, we'll do that another show. Links to the D Glocker at some point. That's my brain at the moment. Brain full of books. Obviously put some 100 quid in there because that's how much books cost these days. It said zoom in, look. So I just found that funny. Anyway, right, this photograph right here, we all seen this on X, on various social media sites. And someone, obviously it looks like a balloon, doesn't it? I think people said it might have been a balloon. And so this is the original photograph, and it did that. And then it did that through AI. So you're not really, yeah, Paul. No, it was a balloon basically. I did actually have the balloon thing here, but yeah, this is what AI is doing. This gets shoved in these paranormal and UFO pages on Facebook. Like you would not believe, and people are believing it. It's like, yeah, but you can see like the extraterrestrial craft has got details. Like it's been put through AI. We need to people in these pages. No offense, you really need to critically think on this one. It's like, come on, guys, look, it went from that to that. It's obviously been put through AI. This is the problem. It looks too good to be true. I mean, look at it, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think people need to be really careful what information they're consuming, because it's pages like this are not doing any justice. Just to finish off, talking about something paranormal, this red creepy clips keep on coming up. This photograph right here, when I saw this, I was like, I know exactly that ghost photograph, and it's actually that. Okay, very, very famous photograph of a man sort of sitting down in the chapel there. But look, it did that. So again, we have more fake and gay stuff being pushed out on these social media sites. I tell you what, you see what the point I'm trying to get. Look, there's the original, and that's what someone did through AI. It's just, you can't get away with it now, guys. It's with paranormal and UFO stuff. It's AI relentless. Now, just to sort of cap off, just to prove my point, I'm going to bring up one page, which I haven't brought up in a while. Just refresh that page there. UFO Sightings UK. Let's bring it up. And let's see. I know, Paul, exactly. It's like, that is my, just like, head slap, mate. You know what I mean? Let's bring this up. Let's see what it's saying on UFO Sightings UK. Go on then. Let's have a look. Where are we to? Oh, there it is there. Right. This has 264,700 members. And it is the private page. I don't know what we're actually looking at here. So have a look. Let's see how. Right, what exactly are we looking at here? Okay, so after posting my last video, it got a load of snowflakes that couldn't see properly. May I can't please anything. Another edited the same video. When the second object appears and shoots away, it seems to appear from nowhere before moving. And yes, it does go behind the clouds. Anyone that says it's a bird can go and do one. Ooh, oh, Gary Wall, you're all snowflake there, aren't you? Don't like people's opinions. The video is obviously slowed down, so the speed is insane. Cheers. Oh no, cheers, Gary. You snowflake. Let's have a little look. Guys, can you see anything? It's a bird, Gary. Gary, it's a bird. Block me if you wanted to. What am I supposed to see? What object? Well, that there, is that it? Is that what you're talking about, Gary? Gary, stop posting bollocks on these pages. You're not doing ufology any justice for this. Oh, that there, is that what that? For Christ's sake. Oh dear. Oh, these people on these pages. Oh god, let's have a look at the comments. I just find it funny. This is what drugs do to your kid. Oh god, this is hilarious. Oh my. Oh dear. Oh, this is hilarious. I just, some of the comments are just absolutely brilliant. When it's the biggest daytime light show in the world, why are you posting yourself on there, mate? It's a UFO page, for Christ's sake. Right, moving on. Talking about AI, check this out. Gary is Karen.
Hey, mister, what is that?
It's AI, mate. Look, I have to admit, for something that's clearly AI, it's not bad. Look.
Misty.
It's got a shadow in there.
I'm recording it. What the hell is that?
No, it's through the door camera, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Guys, yeah. I know people say, oh, it's AI, but guys, when I say this, it is absolutely relentless on these pages now. In fact, people start to catch on to it, and they said, can you please delete people and block them when they post bullshit like this? I know it's supposed to be for entertainment purposes, but again, you're taking the seriousness out of this. Yeah, it's an AI slop. A lot of traffic noises considered, no cars going past. Yeah, good point. Very, very good point. It's, yeah, okay, moving on. Let's have a little look for this one. Again, I'm a firm believer of UFOs. We've all been visited. They're definitely interdimensional. We definitely have craft, visiting us for the past 90 years. But at this point, it's, again, people don't really know what they're actually seeing. It could be balloons, and we just got a lot of AI schlop at the moment. Right. With me, with my new camera, hopefully going to get within the next 3 months, well, by summertime, I want to zoom in properly into this, absolutely zoom in and get a crystal clear footage. Something flew past there. Again, it's just, you can't really make anything out of this. Do you know what I mean? A for effort, though. A for effort. All right, move on. Okay, Tank Museum. Aliens. Okay. Why are you posting pictures of yourself? Honestly, for fuck's sake. Let's move on from that one. Let's have a little look. Oh my fucking god. Do you see what I mean?
It's crazy.
Do you see what I mean? What I'm dealing with on a daily basis?
That's not a person.
I mean, where are the other photographs and video footage of this? I'm so sorry for showing this to you guys, honestly. But it's proven a point where it's just. I mean, it might get some like good footage. Like, have a look at this one. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. What if it was real? I make myself look right, Pillock. I have to admit, yeah. But the thing is, a craft like, for instance, the previous video of that, you know, if that was a craft, other people would have obviously seen that, how low it was. Go. I don't know on that one. Oh, it's disappeared. Okay, fair enough. Not too sure on that one. Okay, well, that looks like a genuine sighting, to be honest with you. Aircraft. I know it turned around, it disappeared. So let's have one more. Go on then. Let's have one more to finish off. Here we go.
EBA 1, who was kept in captivity in a deep underground base, was examined by the military's top experts.
Oh, sure.
After several attempts to communicate with the being, a group of linguists and communication specialists were able to ascertain who the Ebans were and from where they came.
Ever since they landed in 47, there's a long story about how EBA was able to communicate. We initially didn't allow EBA to have any access to the equipment on the recovered craft from Krona. We wouldn't let him see it. We wouldn't let him touch it. We wouldn't let him go near it. It was an entirely different place. We did have what was later determined to be the energy device and another device, which we later determined to be the communications device.
Trust me, bro.
We did have that at Los Alamos because they were studying it. Los Alamos scientists thought the plexiglass looking thing was just a window. They didn't realize it was an energy device. The other contraption, which was very strange in appearance, I only saw a diagram of it. I didn't ever see the real thing. It was an oblong shaped block of something that had different appendagers. And they thought
that's Billy Meyer.
At first that might have been some sort of an energy device, but they could never get it to activate. But turned out that was a communications device. The plexiglass area, or the crystal rectangle, they call it, was the energy device. And eventually somebody decided, let's bring these into him. And
this sounds AI. It's got this hissing noise. Have you not noticed that? Listen, go back a little bit. It's got a very distinct hissing noise.
But turned out that was a communications device. The plexiglass area, or the crystal rectangle, they call it, was the energy device. And eventually somebody decided, let's bring these into him and let him look at it. And then he explained to the handler, this was a communications device. Somehow he started trying to communicate with his planet, sending signals.
I think this is obviously fake and gay, clearly. But again, ufology is definitely entertainment purposes, but it's kind of like videos like this is kind of like taking the seriousness out of the whole subject. Could be Dota. Yeah. Do you not notice that? It's got this hissing noise. It's very that AI sort of look. Sounding. This is AI look for sure, but yeah, okay. Sorry, I've showed you that, guys. Yeah, okay, we'll leave that for now. So it just goes to show the amount of bollocks gets posted on this page, which is doesn't do any justice. And this is why you should pay attention to Aryan Addict. I went Chinese then, sorry. Because we obviously deep dive into the history of ufology, but we give a more or less realistic perspective and a critical thinking perspective, you know. Again, like I said, guys, the videos that I just showed you right now, yes, I do believe a lot of stuff is fake and gay. Trust me on that one with ufology. I know that. I've got a bunch of magazines and we've done a backtrack record on a lot of old cases, and we know, for instance, like Paul Villa. Here's a number of people that have fake stuff over the years, and this is just my personal opinion on that. So Paul Villa, we've got Daniel Fry, we've got the Lost Creek UFO sightings. That's Gary Barker. I'm going to put Billy Meyer there. We've got the Gulf Breeze sightings. What else have I got here on my brain that I can't think at the moment? You understand what I'm talking about. But again, it just comes with the territory. Yes, it's for entertainment purposes, but again, it's sort of taking the seriousness out of the situation. And again, with Alien Addicts here, we like to just have a bit of a critical thinking skills and just apply that to any cases that we look at. But again, I'm not denying extraterrestrial crafts that have been visiting this planet for the past 90 years. Well, past a millennia, I would say, for thousands of years, potentially millions of years. Yes, they could be underneath the ocean. Yes, Pentuck is real. Yes. Oh, you said it's a bit sus. Okay. Good point you mentioned that, right? I went, so yesterday was the 10th anniversary of the Pentuck incident. We did interview Kaz Clark with Hidden Underbelly Show. And I would say I haven't been there, but I Googled the area where the sighting happened, and it's literally next to a village. And I'm quite surprised no one else has actually seen the sighting except for Kaz Clark. So again, it's hard to tell, isn't it, really? But there is a real phenomenon out there. Are we going to get the truth? No. It's just part of the territory, guys. You know, I might be wrong, but I've been in this topic for a long period of time, and it just has a very recurring pattern of a lot of letdown, you know. And now we have AI these videos can easily be created within seconds, like literally 10 seconds. It's AI's doing the work for you. So, and it just gets posted out there because people want to get what they want, trends, they want likes, they want to get it's like this dopamine itch. It's like, yeah, I got 1,000 likes on this one, but it's like, yeah, but you're not helping ufology at all by posting AI schlop. Do you know what I mean? It's just part of ufology now. We just have to learn to accept it. So, yes, her neighbor saw it as well. Yes, we'll do a catch up on that. We'll do a catch up on that because it happened in the early hours in the morning, about 2:30 in the morning, and I know people were asleep at that time. So, again, we'll balance things out at some point. Mr. Source, how's it going, man? So yeah, yes, I would say Richard Doty. It did sound like, yes, Richard Doty. Did sound quite like him. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I'm just going through from my notes here. I think I've got everything. So Wednesday, we were going to do the Rendlesham Forest incident. We're actually going to move that to the next live stream. This is with Hidden Underbelly. We're going to talk about Mars because we've got a lot of Mars stuff in here. So yeah, that is that's on the equation for Wednesday's show. That is everything. Fantastic. So on Tuesday's show, we'll go through some magazines and see what ufology was saying back in 2001, August of 2001. There we go. There we go. Right. And hopefully I'll get my book. What book was that? That one there. So look. It should arrive in time. It's pretty quick. Oh, don't worry about that, Nathan. You could always do a catch up, mate. But yeah, appreciate you being in chat. But yeah, that came. I just ordered that today, so that should be coming through the post to add to my collection. So yeah, there we go. Check my email. All right, hold on. So what? Oh yeah, I got you, Nathan. All right, mate. I'm gonna go beddy buys now because the missus wants me to come to bed. But I'll report back to you first thing in the morning, mate. All right. I've got to be up in 6 hours to go to work. So, hey, Jerry, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. I designed a rug. Really? Bloody hell. Awesome, man. Yeah, nice to see you, Jerry. Yeah, so I'm going to end the show now, buddy. Normally finish around about the 3-hour mark. But yeah, come say your goodbyes now, guys. It's much appreciated. And it's because of you. It's the reason why I continue doing Alien Addict. And I was a bit bummed out before I started the show. I don't want to end the show on a down note, but God, I do get jealous of other channels that are doing a lot better than me. Alien Addict, it's again, I'm losing subscribers a lot, and I've now gone back down to the same amount of subscribers when I first started Alien Addict over a year ago, and it's really disheartening. I don't know what's going on. Is it me? Am I a dick? Am I just not presenting things properly? Is it the keywords I'm saying? But it's just really not fair where I'm just like, subscribe. I shouldn't look at subscribers, but even like the views as well. You know, it doesn't seem to progress. You know, and it's like I was saying to my missus earlier. It says when Ollie gave me Alien Addict, it had a certain amount of subscribers. You know, 12,000 subscribers, and me taking on Alien Addict, and I'm like, right, let's build it up and let's build up the subscribers and build up the community, which the community is building up for sure. But then I'm losing subscribers. It makes me feel like shit. It really does. I'm going to be honest with you. It feels like I'm doing a really bad job. But the reason why I keep doing this is because of you guys here. Is because you keep coming in each week, and I think you guys enjoy it to a certain degree. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. It's YouTube. Yeah. It's the same with the Professor Dave said the same thing as well. Yeah, they just censor in certain channels like me, and other channels are thriving when, you know, when I do these shows, guys, you know, sorry for rambling a little bit. I will end the show. Is that like today's show? It takes me days to get a script together, you know, get everything all in order. It takes a lot of my time. And then there's some other UFO channels that just play a video and sit there and just like, yeah, blah, blah, and they get thousands of views. I'm like, well, fucking hell, like, what the hell? But I here, you're getting quality, all right? It comes at a price, but I don't mind that. You know, I work hard. I've got a full-time job and everything, and I don't mind buying these books. I'm doing a proper deep dive because we need to learn all the history of ufology to say, look, we can learn from the past and learn what we're saying back then compared to what it is now. Yes, with a lot of regurgitated information and stories we heard before, but we can still learn from it. And I'll try to do my best to give that perspective. Look at the German flying saucers I do. You know, no one's done a proper massive deep dive like I've been doing. I'm just saying, not to toot my own horn here, but going back to original publications, breaking things down, you know, the whole parts that I've done on it. So I hope you can find that just a bit interesting, but it does get disheartening, man. It does. But I shouldn't think about that at all, because it's you guys here. It's you, the people in chat right now are watching me and paying attention. Paying attention. That's the word. So yeah, I don't want to go on a tangent there, but it does get a bit disheartening. Whereas YouTube are just censoring certain amount of channels, and it's really disheartening. But don't worry, the show must go on, and I'm not going to go anywhere because you guys are sexy bitches. And to end the show, I'm going to finish off now. People don't really realize what this is all about. So if you like what you see, Maria, where are you, Maria? Kiss me, Maria. Sit on my face, Maria. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna read some of your comments. Yes, I know. I shouldn't. Sometimes people unsubscribe. I understand that. Yeah. It comes with the territory, but it's like hidden underbelly says. You shouldn't really pay attention to that. Hold on, get comfortable here. Finishing off with a bang, guys. Maria, sit on my face, Maria. So you can find that funny. See, I hopefully got a bit of sense of humor because it's, you know, got to have a laugh. You know, it's ufology, of course. So she is indeed, mate. Yeah. She's definitely indeed, definitely hottie for sure. Let's just go through chat. So yes, come say your last goodbyes now, guys. Sorry for went a bit of a tangent there, but I just want to get that off my chest. Oh, thank you, Sadie. Much appreciated. Yeah. Let's have a little look. Just going up. I think that's it. Right, I'm going to say goodbye. She's mine. Bob Lazar. Sorry, I missed you in chat. Sorry, I was looking at the videos I'm watching. But yeah, thanks for being in chat. Much appreciated. Bob Lazar, Rebecca, Black Dot, Gary, thanks for popping in chat, man. Much appreciated. Science Evidence Fringe, Green Tea, Paul Robertson, Sadie, and John Strokes. Got to have a laugh, innit, Rebecca? Absolutely. And thank you so much for being in chat, Rebecca. Maria. Much appreciated. Right, okay, so I shall catch you and Ray Clay too, and Moody. Thank you very much. My precious Maria. Right, that's it. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It will be much appreciated. And I'll see you on Tuesday for another live show. If not, come catch me on Hidden Underbelly Show on Wednesday. If not, on Friday. So until next time, guys, they're watching you, watching us, watching them. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Intro out. Maria. I was trying to make a funny there. But I'll tell you what, I'll catch up next week on my shamanic realm I'm doing here. And I'll see you very soon, guys. It's much appreciated. And hey, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. And thanks for the kind remark. Much appreciated. I want that Maria Orsic pillow. I'm not about those boobs there. I'm talking about an actual pillow with her face on it. God knows what I'll do with it. I don't know. Bring it to work with me. Anyway, I'll see you very soon. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.